Oh man, I haven't been live in a minute. Salute to everybody. If y'all pulling
In
up,
the heart of Gaza, where hope is a
man, this
precious
shit is
rarity,
loud as fuck.
every meal we give.
Y'all hear me? Hold on, let me play my theme music. Sex, drugs, money, murder. Sex, drugs, money.
What it is, running it down on these niggas. Sex, drugs, money, and murder, my nigga. You know how we did it, my nigga. Still be planting them bitches, my nigga. Ripping that raw and fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never gon' hurt you. Niggas, they never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder.
Got the trap spot, understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back. Knew I never seen none of nigga live like that. I was still getting stacks back. Had to fuck around getting them packs back. Niggas.
Smash the like button. Shit is live. Y'all know I got a premiere going on right now, so everybody that's in the building, smash the like button. Shit is live. Shout out to my brother Yola in the building, Philly. It was goody. I see you, bro. That's my guy right there. I love that nigga, man. Good motherfucking dude. Good motherfucking dude right there, man. Good dude. One of my homies for real, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that fuck with me, man. You know, the dudes that don't like me, cool. Y'all don't gotta like me, man. I don't do this shit for the haters. I do this shit for me, my nigga. That's the difference. The haters is gonna motherfucking hate. That's their fucking job to hate. You feel me? Y'all saw me on fucking Troy Avenue shit. Y'all like that, huh? Y'all see y'all boy working, right? Y'all like, damn, son, that nigga Gotti, yo. One thing I say about that nigga Gotti, son, that nigga be working. Yeah, bro. I really do be working. You know, I don't gotta hate. Fuck the I don't need 100 and something niggas in my motherfucking chat. That's what niggas don't understand, bro. Y'all niggas is searching too hard to have 100 something niggas in your chat. My nigga, I do more views than a little bit. You know, you niggas is focusing on, yo, I need 100 niggas in my chat. Just tell your people to smash the like button. The ones that pulled up, they pull up. The ones that don't, they really wasn't fucking with you. Keeping it real. All these niggas don't really be fucking with niggas. They just be fucking with a nigga movement. But they don't be fucking with niggas. Niggas don't fuck with me. Cause all these niggas do is hate on the kid. You feel me? They hate on the kid. They come on their YouTube. They say what they want to say about the boy. I don't give a fuck. Y'all know I don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas will say, yo, Bullets Gotti washed up. And then it comes back, y'all was wrong about that. A nigga not washed up. Y'all niggas gotta do beef. Y'all gotta fight. Y'all not letting y'all content speak. Y'all not putting out great content. Y'all not talking about different type of view videos. Y'all not trying to shape and mold the culture. Like y'all niggas always talk about the culture. But what have y'all niggas shaped and molded on YouTube? Like literally, tell me. Like, what have y'all changed since y'all been on here? Y'all have never changed. Y'all not changing the conversation pieces. Y'all not doing nothing. Yo, come on. Yo, I smoke. Yo, matter of fact, let me drop the link for my brother I Smoke. I Smoke, pull up, man. Pull up, man. Pull up. I gotta get my boy I Smoke up here. I Smoke. Listen, I Smoke see me since the beginning. And me and him fell out. I tell people, in life, you fall out with people. But eventually you're gonna reconnect. Me and I Smoke, yeah, we fell out. We had our little issues here and there. But this is what people don't understand. I Smoke always reached out to me behind the scenes. He always was like, yo, Gotti, keep doing what you doing, bro. I see you. I Smoke could tell you, like, the brother reached out to me multiple times behind YouTube. All right, we got to do a show together. Yo, Bless One, we got to do a show together. Stop playing, man. We got to do a show together, man. We got to combine our audience, man. We got to do something, man. You know, because I really got to give I Smoke his flowers, because when I left Chris Kidd platform, I Smoke Hip Hop embraced me and brought me over there. This is what people don't understand. When I left Chris Kidd, I Smoke Hip Hop brought me his platform and embraced me. He made me basically step my game up as a YouTuber. I stepped up my whole shit fucking with I Smoke. You know, and I took the whole, like, bringing niggas on my live stream to a whole different level. I Smoke Hip Hop will tell you, I'm the first one that brought motherfuckers on the live. Like, nobody was doing that. Sonetta wasn't doing that. You already know. God Smoke, come on, bro. Sonetta wasn't doing that. None of these dudes was doing that. You know? Hey, how you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, you over there. You got a nice smile. Look at you. You just smiling.
What's up?
I'm good. And yourself? How's your week and your holidays coming along?
It's going fine. I mean, I can't believe the year is over and it's about to be Christmas. I guess just everybody processing that, but I guess Christmas is pretty much so.
Christmas is coming Monday, and then the year is gonna be over the next week after Christmas. That's crazy.
The wrap.
Is you still mad with Talib Kweli?
So what are you? What's so funny? What are you talking about today? I see Jonathan Majors and Diddy.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to talk about that. I was going to talk about that whole craziness with the whole Puffy scandal and Jonathan Majors going to jail for this white girl. How you feel about that? How you feel about that crazy?
Jonathan Majors situation, because didn't they say a few weeks ago that she had to pay up some money to him, and then just like 3 days ago they showed that video of him running away from her? So like, what is he charged with, like, altogether? Like, what is it at the end of the day?
So basically they charging him with, I think, assault and harassment and stalking. That's what basically they charging him with.
And she's getting off scot-free herself?
Yeah, she's getting off scot-free.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like the way this year is wrapping up, it seems like a chain reaction with the actors, and it could be like rappers, just like the whole industry. It just seems like a whole chain reaction. And then every time I look at the Shade Room, something new pops up. I think today was Vin Diesel. I don't know. It's just
Vin Diesel. Yeah. Vin Diesel with the assistant. Like he's supposed to grope his assistant and shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I guess. I mean, I think it's about that time. I guess maybe like with Hollywood finally sinking. It's just, not to go off topic. Speaking about like hip hop artists, as you know, it's like 50 years of hip hop this year, and I haven't been able to celebrate 50 years of hip hop. Like I haven't been able to. Because I'm a hip hop head, like, New York rappers come first. And I haven't been able to get, I don't know, like whatever. I've seen parties and flyers and stuff like that, but I just haven't been able to get into it. I don't know if it's because like Eric Sermon he was chopping it up with somebody and he was saying something along the lines of like, I guess kind of hip hop's kind of like dead, kind of like, I guess maybe Nas predicted it years ago. Like, it's just I don't know what it is.
The shit is dead. I'm gonna agree with you.
You went to any hip hop parties like to celebrate 50 years or anything like that?
I did. I went to 2 hip hop concerts. I went to 2, and I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I had this conversation all the time about hip hop, right? And I said
Mm-hmm.
that basically, Nas did predict that this day will come, and it has come because every rapper that has come out is either the guys are killers, the girls are strippers slash prostitutes, and they talking about they
Or
JJ
mumble rappers.
every yeah, or mumble rappers. Thank you. And the problem is that nobody has put out any great solid music. You can't understand a word these young rappers are saying. Everybody has to be ultra gangster. And if you go to a club or anywhere, nobody's basically dancing. Everybody's just standing there playing with their phone. So I agree. Hip hop music is dead. I think as adults, it's no longer for us because we outgrown it. We grew up listening to it. As we get older, I'm gonna be honest. I love hip hop. Hip hop was like my everyday thing. I woke up listening to it, went to bed listening to it. But as I got older, I don't have the taste to listen to hip hop no more. There's a lot of people make excuses for some of these rappers. Well, they talking about the environment. That's cool, but give us different subject matters. I don't want to hear about a female's discharge on every song talking about ski. I,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about how many Dracos these young rappers are shooting. I'm just don't want to hear that. It's like, some of us, we're older. We want to hear something that is going to entertain us. I went to go see Nas. I'm gonna be honest. He had a sold out concert. Why? Because he has a great catalog of music, diverse music. These young rappers, they can't even sell out an arena
No.
or have any diverse music. Like it's just the same old bullshit that we're going to continue to hear, and the music is basically it's just detrimental to the kids because the kids are listening to this and they really being brainwashed by all these rappers. And don't get me wrong, I was one of those young teenagers that liked what the rappers were saying. Nobody could have told me anything when I was watching Rap City and all these and watching all these videos at late night and seeing these rappers in their cars and have all these girls. But then when you get older, it's like, damn, like that's all you could come with now? Like nobody has
Yeah,
changed the
like
subject matter.
I went to Raleigh. I was at a hookah lounge at Raleigh in North Carolina, and
Mm,
just looking around at the scene, and it was predominantly black people in the hookah lounge. And every time they was playing like these new hip hop songs, they was not moving. They was all just flickering on their phone. But then when they started playing
mhm,
like that West African music, Caribbean music, because that's really where it's at now, they
yeah,
was they lit, they was live with it, and it kind of made me feel bad because again I'm a classic hip hop head. New York comes first when it comes to the hip hop artists.
yeah.
But you said it perfect. Like it's just it fell off. Nas did predict it, that hip hop is dead, and it made me feel bad in the moment because it was just like, wow, is it really to the extent that like dang, people can't get up for hip hop no more? Like what does the future bring? um and and not to go all over the place, there are different things affecting the Black American community. And I'm just like, wow, if hip hop is gone, which is like a cultural aspect of things, like what would you have left of substance? It's just, I don't know. It's just, it's sad. And the year's about to end. So I didn't really get to celebrate 50 years of hip hop like that. And for me, I kind of feel guilty because I'm just like, again, I'm a hip hop head and I've seen a few events between Connecticut and New York, and I just whatever the case, I just haven't made it. And I don't know. I guess maybe in another 50 years. I don't know.
No, but listen, you're not wrong for feeling that way because a lot of us feel that way. I had a conversation last night, and I'm listening to grown men and women making excuses for young people and the music that are coming out right now. They have to face the facts that this genre is over. It's over. Majority of all these young rappers are going to jail. Let's just be honest. They're not selling any units. All the rappers that are basically selling out shows are veteran rappers. Wu-Tang Clan,
Yes. Mm.
Nas, on 50 Cent,
Rightfully,
all
rightfully
veteran
so.
rappers.
Rightfully so.
And it's like
They
a
should
lot of
get
these
their
young
homage. They
artists,
should get their respect.
of course, and a lot of these young artists are not doing that. And when it comes to like the newer music, like Afro beats, which is
Exactly.
successful, I'm not gonna lie, Burna Boy and Davido and all of it's successful because they're not talking about killing.
Hmm.
They're making music for people to dance.
Like
Hip
positive
hop
energy.
is supposed to positive energy. That's what it is. Positive energy. And that's what music is supposed to be. Positive energy. When we listen to Afro beats and you see how Burna Boy and all these artists is basically being successful in the American market, is because they're taking what rappers are supposed to do. Rappers are
Yeah.
supposed to make music for people to dance. Let's be honest. That's what they were doing in the 90s. That's what they was doing in the 2000s, even in the 80s. Now, when you listen to rappers now, it's I'm shooting this one with the Draco, I'm getting high, and the girls are saying, I need somebody to eat my pussy and eat my ass. Like,
Sexy Red and Sukiyaki, they are making black women look bad. It's horrible. It's horrible. Like I don't like nobody should be condoning or endorsing whatever it is that Sexy Red and Sukiyaki is doing. Like it's horrible. It's not cool because even like to go into what you're saying, even like in the 90s, like or the early 2000s, even like as far as reggae is concerned, you'd have reggae artists collaborate with hip hop artists. Now it's to the point where people don't really want to collaborate with hip hop artists from other genres, so to speak,
mhm.
and it's horrible. I do care.
Hey,
I genuinely do
look,
care.
what you just said is absolutely facts. And I'm going to tell you why. Burna Boy had a whole song with 21 Savage. Nobody cares about the version with 21 Savage. They just like the version with Burna Boy. So that just shows you like nobody wants to hear rappers anymore.
Not even on the collabo. Not even like, and this is a cultural thing because it's really within the music and outside of the music. It's the black culture, like the specifically the toxic sector of the black culture, just drama, negative toxicity, just things that you see going on in real life. And yes, it does trickle down into the music. And it's really putting, like I said, like Sexy Reds and these new mumble rappers and stuff like that. They're putting a stain on the black image, whether it's from the hip hop industry, whether it's in your inner city of, somewhere in New York or Cali or Chicago, Baltimore, etc. It's really putting a stain on the black image to where you see, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's a domino effect. Everything with the hip hop culture, things that are going on live in America and the country with, talk about illegal immigrants all the time and stuff like that. And black people are just getting pushed to the very bottom, both music wise, hip hop, and just in real life and the liveliness of living here in America. And I do have empathy. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. And then you go back into the epitome of this topic, Jonathan Majors. What do I think about the situation? Again, a few weeks ago, they said they was going to charge the lady, I guess, kind of like in a defamation kind of a way. And then when I seen the video, like he was hauling ass trying to run away from her. And then now, like all his endorsement deals and everything's out the window and so forth. And it's just the way the year is ending. I don't know. Like, who do you think took more L's? Like, as far as like celebrities, like, or even a little mixture in real life. Do you think like black men are going out bad this year, or black women?
Yeah,
And I know
I
that's a
think
bad comparison, but it's something that's been happening tit for tat, and it's something real that should be discussed. You know what I mean?
no, I think black men in 2023 really has been under attack, especially the media wise and all these situations that's coming on, that's happening. A lot of men are losing endorsement deals. Um, the whole relationship situation that's going on, the whole black woman and black men feuding online. Um, That has to stop. I'm gonna be honest. Like the whole dating culture, and it's just like the music scene. It's whack.
It's
Nobody
the
wants to be
hypersexuality.
facts, facts, and like I feel that dating used to be you meet a person in person when you date somebody. You meet a person in the club, meet a person at the library, the mall, various places with social places to meet people. Now, when you look at the relationship thing and you look at dating now, is you meet a person online, and this might be a woman that you probably see like 10 or 15 years ago, or probably like maybe 4 or 5 months ago in the street, and she didn't say anything to you. But you meet her back online, you able to talk to her. Like that just shows you how effed up the dating world is. Like that is, to me, it's like everything that's going on with relationships. I think she got kicked off. I hope she come back in because her connection might have kicked out. But everything, like I tell y'all all the time, the relationship shit is just out of pocket, man. You know. Oh, here she come. Here she back. She back. Cause I know her connection went out. Your connection went out.
Wow, my bad.
Yeah, that always you good. That always happen. That happens to me. But like the whole thing with relationships, like it's not the same no more. Like and I hear women and men say this all the time that dating in 2023 is corny. Because and it's nothing wrong with meeting somebody online.
You
There's
hear me?
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I can hear you. You good. There's nothing wrong with meeting somebody on a social network site or having a conversation with somebody and you connect like that.
Hello.
But yeah, you hear me now? You good? I think a connection. You good? You good now? I think your connection. Yeah, camera went out. Her thing went out. You might have to turn your camera. You might have to turn your camera off. That's probably what it is, because that happens to me. When my camera's on, my camera I always have a camera like the camera like it froze on me and shit. Might have to come back. Might have to come back in. But yeah, smash the like button, y'all. Smash the like button. Shout out to my brother. Hey, you good now?
I think I should be good.
Yeah, that's better. I think that's what it was. Your camera. Once, like when you turn your camera on, like your connection, like it clinks out. But you seeing good now. You can hear me? Hold on. Should I be hating stream yards? You can hear me now?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You better now. Yeah.
Okay, got you. My bad.
No, it's cool. It's cool. That always happens to me. Like I don't know what it is with stream yards. Like when you come on, like and you have your camera on, like you start getting frozen. So that's why I usually like have my camera off because I don't have to be interrupted with the whole bullshit like that. But you sound good now. You want to say something?
No, I'm still going into what you were saying, pretty much like with the Jonathan Majors. Oh, I mean, not with the rift between black men and black women, and just pretty much like how it's wrapping up in 2023.
Yeah, because
I mean, it pretty much folds into Jonathan Majors, Diddy, the industry, and so forth. So
yeah, no, but like I watched your video, like the video you did, and you was talking about like black women, and like it was hitting home because a lot of women gotta understand, right, that a lot of women, I tell a lot of men, there's not a lot of bad women out here, but they're so caught up in the illusion of just chasing the ideal woman that they look at on the Instagrams and all that. And it's like we have a problem where we have too many women out here not being realistic. They're being too much materialistic, and it's a whole lot of egos, and it's a lot of narcissistic men and women.
Correct.
And I
I
always
agree.
feel that a man should get with a woman that loves him for him and respect him as the man he is, and respect him as a person and as a friend. And that's the problem. That's what relationships is missing. That's what a lot of people is missing is a friendship. Relationships shouldn't just be based off of just the emotions and the pleasure, which is sex. Because a lot of people look at a relationship as, oh, we're fucking and we're emotionally connected, but we're toxic. Like the
Yeah, there's no
toxic shit.
substance. There's nothing
It's no,
positive.
yeah, it's no substance because you have a lot of, like, I'm being honest. Every time I look online and I look, like, just looking at what's going on in the world, it's like people are in a lot of toxic relationships. There's a lot of people that are in so much fucked up relationships that they either dying from passions of love or they're going to jail for just being a crazy lover. It's just that shit right there is just crazy. Like the toxicity in 2023, it was on an all-time level. And it's just like how 2020 was. And I've just been noticing, like, for the last, I would say, 3 years, it's been a lot of toxic relationships and a lot of people been exposing themselves. You agree?
Oh yeah, it's to the extreme. It's to an extreme. It's at an all-time high. And for me, it's like you got the black sector of, like, black men versus black women, and then, as you know, you got YouTube. I mean, like, you got like the manosphere versus the feminists and all that stuff. It's just like a never-ending cycle. So me and my videos, what I do is, like, I'm the type of person, like, okay, like, I would watch Kevin Samuels, but then on the flip side, I would also watch Cynthia G. And the reason why I'd be capable of doing that, aside from just the entertainment aspect, is because I hold men accountable when they should be accountable, and I hold women accountable when they should be accountable. Like, I don't have a bias in the situation. So, for instance, in 2022, I could say for a fact black men went out bad, like, in terms of when you look at nationwide, there was a femicide. It's still going on, like a black femicide where black women are being murdered at the hands of black men. And I was very privy to that, and I would talk about that in my videos. But at the same exact time, I'm such an unbiased person. Again, I hold men responsible when they should be responsible, and I hold women responsible when women should be responsible. So even
Right.
though I knew that there were a few situations where there were black men killing black women, you talk about the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion situation last year. Tory Lanez is innocent. I can't sit there and be like, okay, this man killed this woman over here in Florida or whatever state it may have been, and then I'm just, because I see that, I'm gonna just throw Tory Lanez under the bus, because
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, his DNA wasn't on the gun,
I want
so
to
that's
ask
it.
you
He's
about that.
innocent.
I want to ask you about that because like I talked about that in my video that I did about Jonathan Majors, and I said, like, in the original, if people really go back and really follow the case, the guy that came as the witness said that who he saw with the firearm was not Tory Lanez, and who he saw fighting was Megan Thee Stallion
And
and her
Chelsea.
girlfriend. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea. So when people would say, well, he shot that woman and he did this to this woman and he was abusing this woman and he shot her, but they keep missing the fact that Megan Thee Stallion was the aggressor of the situation. It's similar like the Jonathan Majors situation. She was the aggressor. She was attacking Tory Lanez, and then she ended up fighting her own friend, her best friend, which she was already fighting before they got in the car when they was at Kylie Jenner's house. So
Yes.
when she went in the car, she started fighting. It led to them fighting outside, and this is what led to the whole gun and the shooting. And he had no fingerprints on the firearm. He did not shoot this girl. But for Los Angeles, the district attorneys and even the jury to even look and say that this man did this is kind of wrong, and it's kind of being biased, because I could see if he did it. I could see if he was that he had his fingerprints on the gun. I could see that. But
Exactly.
when you have an eyewitness, the same eyewitness that came to court and said that he did it, but in the original statements, in the original, test, the original thing that he gave police, that he saw two women fighting and the gun went off and he did not see Tory Lanez with a gun.
Yeah,
That was
it's
crazy.
wrong. It's wrong. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish people could get out of having a cult-like mind, which is something I've talked about in my previous videos. Like, you have to take every situation and individualize it. Like, you can't just put everything in one boat. So again, like I said, even though I was talking about videos of there are black men killing black women, you have a lot of black women nationwide in the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion case where their mind is so fixated on that, on the black femicide, which is serious. That should never be underestimated or minimized. But you can't just throw Tory Lanez under the bus if his DNA wasn't under the gun. And everything you just said perfectly was 100% correct. Like, he's innocent. Now, was he at the wrong place at the wrong time? Because I remember there were YouTubers making videos saying, remember when he first went in jail and he had a recorded phone call? They was trying to, I guess, whoever felt like, yeah, he's guilty or whatever, whoever is automatically on Meg Thee Stallion's side and make her the victim and everything like that. They were like, oh yeah, Tory Lanez was apologizing for jail from a phone call. He wasn't apologizing to. He's first of all, he's not guilty, and I stand on that. Secondly, what he's apologizing, if anything, he's apologizing to himself for being a man messing around with two women that are friends, which is a very toxic situation. He was apologizing in the sense of being a man, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what he was apologizing to. It wasn't like, I apologize because I'm guilty. And then I seen women, even like I think like I said, I am subscribed to Cynthia G, or before her channel got taken down. I didn't agree with her, on, of course, Cynthia G would throw Tory Lanez under the bus because look at what her content is about, right? And then you got black women, they were upset with Tory Lanez's father defending him. So what do you guys want from black men? You want them to be active fathers, or you want them to be pieces of shit? Because the moment his father defends him, because again, he is factually innocent, it's a problem for his father to defend him. That's not cool.
No, that's absolutely right. That is not cool. But I think what the problem is that in society, there's a whole thing to paint black men as this savage barbarian beast, and and not as human. But don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bad actors and bad characters in the community, but to just pinpoint and say, well, he looked guilty because of a message. With the Jonathan Majors thing, they said, well, he looked guilty because he sent the text message, and it doesn't sound right, and he may have done it, and he just had anger issues, and he deserved this because he wasn't with a black woman. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I get that, but do you see that this man was running for his life?
He said he wants her to act like Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King.
Yeah,
what? What was that about?
I think I'm gonna be devil's advocate, right? I think it was mainly to say I want you to be supportive, like Michelle and Coretta Scott King. I'm gonna just say that, but that was poor. That was poor choice of words to say, though. That was a poor choice because it really rubbed people the wrong way. But I also say that the man was running for his life in the video, and people paint the picture like he was the aggressor. Like, this guy was running for his life. He was scared of this woman. Like, she was attacking him. She was punching on him. There was one part of the video where she was outside of the club and a white guy was getting ready to attack him. So
exactly.
I mean,
so what is he guilty of exactly? That's the part that's like, I don't know if I missed something, or like, what is he guilty of exactly?
So, like, when I saw what they found him guilty, the bigger, the more charges, the charges that was the serious charges, they found him not guilty. The charges that weren't the serious charges, they found him guilty. And this is the thing that I understand that Marvel, I was kind of disappointed in Marvel and Disney for doing that because if he would have won that case, they would have never dropped him. You
They
know,
dropped
they would
him
have never.
real fast. They dropped him like they was waiting to drop him. That's how
Yeah,
quick
they
they
was.
dropped him.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I didn't understand. Like you was waiting to drop this man. Like you didn't give it a chance. You didn't say, you know what, we stand by you. You just dropped him and said, you know what, fuck this guy. We dropping you. And the date of the guilty verdict, you know, being found guilty, 1 count of reckless assault in the 3rd degree, and then a charge of harassment. But in the video, he wasn't harassing that woman. You know, she was harassing him. He was trying to put her in the Uber. Like, but
Yo, and this
like,
is like, it's really hurting us as a society. Like, not only in the Black community, because even like, you know, you had the situation last year, just like you had Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, you also had
mhm,
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Thankfully, Johnny Depp
yep,
won his case. It's like these women, you know, in this case, obviously, we're talking about Meg Thee Stallion is Black, and then with Jonathan Major, she's white. Amber Heard is white, but just like these women, like these, I want to say modern women, so to speak, they're they're lying, you know. And what about when a woman really is a victim? Like that's the problem, and it's messing up things in society. It's causing things to be worse because, as we already know, it's this rift between man and woman. You have
yeah,
the Black sector of it, but it's not only Black women and men, it's just men and women, period. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then when you have situations like this, with Jonathan Majors, Amber Heard, and Meg Thee Stallion or whatever, it's making matters worse, and it's getting real. It's getting real dangerous, so to speak.
mhm,
It's like you really are a victim as a woman. It's like, even like, you know, we're out here in Connecticut and New York, and these were blue states where it was like, oh, it's a woman's state. Even if in the welfare system and so forth, or even if a man put his hands on a woman, they not take a woman seriously no more out here in New York and Connecticut. You understand what I'm saying?
no,
Like, that's how
yeah.
bad the influence is. I don't know. Shit's real, if you ask me. And I
No,
see
no, it
the
is.
domino effect of it.
No, no, it's absolutely true. It is real. And the thing is, like you just said, a lot of these modern day women, and I always have this conversation, are basically playing victim and for either fame, notoriety, or
Money.
money purposes,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like there's a lot of women out here that are sexually assaulted, that are abused, you know, they're really abused, like literally like abused every day. They're getting sexually assaulted just walking from home, you know, trying to get home at night from work, and then somebody just comes behind them and just take advantage of them. Like these are victims. So when we compare a groupie or a scorned girlfriend, a scorned ex-girlfriends, and they just come and say, well, you did this to me, so I'm gonna make your life live in hell. Like that's crazy. So you're gonna make this man life a living hell. So basically you'll tarnish his legacy, you'll tarnish his career, you'll tarnish him as a human being. So now he's not able to make any funds for himself. He's not able to do anything for himself because now you're basically just going to destroy him to no return. And
Exactly.
they just have motives like that. And then they play the victim card, and feminism has really protect these women to basically play the victim card, to basically say that, well, I'm more like, I had a conversation the other day. I said, you know, there's more women that want to be more alpha than the men. You know, they want to be the man. And basically they don't want to be told what to do. They just don't want to do anything. They don't even respect the man at all, you know, because everything for them is, you know, what are you doing for me? Like, what are you bringing to the table? Which is they
It's
want your
horrible.
income. You
It's
know,
horrible.
it's not about a relationship. It's not about a balanced relationship. It's not even about respecting one another. It's about, I want your money and you're my cash cow. So, and
Exactly.
that and that's fucked up, you know, because now there's a lot of younger women that are following the footsteps of these women that are, in their late 20s, mid 20s, 30s, and even 40s. That basically the mindset of these women are, we're going to use these guys up. And if they reject us and they leave us alone, then we're going to put a sexual assault case on them. We're going to put an abuse case on them. Like, that's crazy. Like, why would you do that to somebody that maybe he doesn't want to deal with you? Maybe because you're a narcissist. Maybe because that you just, are not his type. Maybe you just weren't somebody and he found somebody that was for him. People don't know how to move on and just understand life goes on.
Yeah,
But
like the reality of it.
yeah, and it's that's the problem.
And that's my thing. Like with feminism, put it like this: I most certainly am not a feminist. I'm not a modern woman either. But here's my thing with feminism. As far as like when you talk about the originality of feminism, like the 1920s, 1930s, I do believe that it was necessary at that point in time, because they did
Of course.
give the way for women, whether it's myself or any woman that's a commentator or any job or whatever it is, whatever opportunity that women have today, right? But here's my thing, and I always say this all the time: because we're in America and you're allowed the freedom of the speech within the movement or rally that you have, for instance, like feminism and like BLM, Black Panthers, I feel like all these LGBT, all of these movements, they had their time to speak and talk and get their point across, and things were granted for them. Not saying that things became perfect on an individual basis, but it's one of those situations like within human nature, whether it's the feminist movement, BLM or LGBT and so forth. It's like you were given an inch and it wasn't enough, and now you want a yard. So with the feminist movement, it's like, yeah, it was necessary at first, but now you just want to make men's life a living hell. You want to lie and accuse these men for things that they didn't even really do. And it's like, it's horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible because it's going to make things worse for women in real life. And then you got men dressing up as women, going into females' bathroom, going into female sports. And in the feminists, they quiet on that shit. That's
Yeah,
what's bugging me out.
yeah. But this is the agenda. Like, what I noticed, the agenda in 2021 is that they want more men to be more feminine, and they want more women to be more masculine. And this is why they're pushing what they're pushing. If you notice,
It's horrible.
that it's very horrible, but that's the agenda that they're pushing. That's why a lot of these women are becoming lesbians. A lot of these men are becoming gay men, or they're indulging with other men, because basically the way they set the ground rules of this is that we want you to be more feminine and we want your woman to be more masculine. And if you look, a lot of these women are masculine and toxic. They're calling men bitches, they're disrespecting men, they argue, they want to fight men. It's like nobody has like a traditional mindset. Everybody wants to be modern, and to be that we're in a modern society, the modern mindset is really going to be the death of a lot of people, and it's destroying a lot of people mentally, spiritually, and physically, to be technical.
Yeah, it's real. It's a domino effect with the dating culture, hypersexuality culture. It's just nothing of substance. There's no connections no more. Like it's I don't know.
No, but you see, like you said, there's no connections no more, because look at what's going on. Like, the agenda is there. Like, I go on a lot of these social apps and I just psychoanalyze a lot of people, especially if I go on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or even Clubhouse, and I just hear the conversations of the women and the men. It's like nobody respects each other. The first thing is bitch, fuck you, bitch ass nigga, pussy. It's like nobody has a good conversation. And then even in like the day-to-day life, like, you may hold a door for somebody or you may say hello or good morning. People don't even want to part in their lips and say good morning or hello, because people are so just fucked up mentally that they just really is on some like I'm miserable. I'm gonna stay miserable. I'm gonna stay angry. You know, how can you be in a marriage? Like a lot of these women be in marriages and they're not even happy to be in a healthy marriage or healthy relationship. You know, same with these men. Because what society has put out there is that basically we want people angry, we want people alone. You know, we don't want solid balances no more. And that's going to be the destroy of a lot of people, you know, especially with the music, especially with what's going on in television and even what's going on in just in the real world and society. Is like everything is just going downhill. You know, I would have think that 2023 would have been a happier time, but it's gotten even more darker. It's gotten even more, people is more divisive, and it's separated a lot of people. A lot of people are separated since 2023 came in. And I thought, you know, every time a new year comes, you know, it's supposed to be more progress, but it's like it's a downtrot in the people and nobody's progressing. Everybody's just fucked up. You know, that's kind of messed up though, you know. And like even with this whole like with Tory Lanez, like what you were saying about the Tory Lanez thing, it's like this guy went to jail for something he did not even do. Like, how do you go to jail for something you didn't do? Like, you didn't shoot this girl, you didn't harm this girl, but because basically, you know, the media and the agenda is we gotta portray men as savages that just can't control their angers and their mindset. It's like, damn, like this is how people are in the world right now. Like everybody is just fucked up and they just kill and they just like blaming somebody. Like that whole Megan Thee Stallion thing was like to basically promote an album, but she lied. And her own ex-boyfriend says she lied. And even in the court, she admitted that she was dealing with other men. That's the craziest part ever. Like, you dealing with other men. Like, you're in a relationship. This is your boyfriend. And then your boyfriend got to hear that you were sleeping with other men. So you wasn't even loyal to the guy that you was with. And then you're mad with one guy that basically was dealing with your friend because he knew that you weren't loyal to him. People just bewilders me with that shit. It's like that shit's crazy. Like how people could just wake up and say, you know what, this is our agenda. Like, how is that your agenda? Like, and I kind of understand why people say what they say about like these movements, like the feminist movement. All this shit is like, it's all bullshit. To be technical, it's like I hate you, you hate me type of shit. Like everybody hates each other. Like, and it's like you sit there and you write a whole fucking essay piece on the world, like, and you really look at like how society is. Like society is just a fucked up realm right now. Like I already seen. I used to tell people like once you get into this whole like this metaverse shit, it's smoke and mirrors and deception. But everybody is caught up in this matrix. Everybody's believing what they're hearing on the internet. Everybody, but people gotta understand. I love Bucktown, right? It's an important scene in that movie. One of my favorite scenes. The actor Thurman Rasula said, "A deep deep, 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 deep quote to Pam Grier when she walked to the garage. He said, "It's about the big G." The big G. What's the big G? The green. The hoes keep hoeing. The pimps keep pushing. It's all about the big G. And people gotta understand, in the world, that's what it's about. The big G. It's never been about people respecting people and being sincere. There's no such thing as sincere as people out here. You know, it's people that have their own personal narratives and their own personal agenda. That's why y'all see I stay to myself. You know? Like, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy to me, but it's not insane, though. It's not insane, though. The common of, listen, majority of most of the people, right, that are doing a lot of these scandals, right, that's coming out. You gotta really look at people's living, look at people's lives, look at how people is really living their lives. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know what it said. Refresh my page or something. I'm back in. No, but I listened to literally everything that you were saying. Yeah, like society is messed up. Society, like heavily since the last 3 or 4 years, as you know, it's been messed up. People are zombies out here. It's no forget about relationship. Just like you said, person to person. You could be walking down the street saying hi to somebody, good morning, whatever, whatever. And people are just zombies. Like there's no feelings, there's no emotion, there's no regard or
Okay.
consideration to anybody. Like, it's kind of every man for themselves right now, really.
Yeah,
um and it's really disgusting. And to be honest with you, when it comes to the celebrities, because I know we're gonna talk about Diddy and everything, um I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of getting a kick at the downfall of Hollywood, because I get it, people are responsible for making their own choices in real life, like any normie or regular individual on a day-to-day basis. But I
yeah,
feel like this is all from the industry, like the influence, like the hurry up
yeah.
and have sex, have multiple sex partners, be hypersexual overall,
Hmm.
be degenerate, be stagnant, and all those things like that. It's all influence from the industry.
Yeah,
Now, the actors, hip hop artists, singers, and even some of the rock artists and pop artists or whatever, they don't have that pull like they used to. They're not of status as they once were in the
yeah,
past, and some of them are out of touch. They don't realize, like, you ain't that special or important anymore. And then
yeah,
now with all this situation with Diddy and the Christian Keys and people just being dragged down and what is it, accused of harassing this woman or that woman and so forth. I mean, it all has to come to a head. This age of Aquarius, and I'm happy about it, because remember, before the pandemic, people used to talk about how they did rituals in the hip hop industry and Hollywood
yeah.
and so forth, and people would be like calling them conspiracy theorists and saying that they're lying. And now, lo and behold, everything is rolling out in front of our eyes.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Like my cousin always says, the age of Aquarius. He always says that that's his favorite word, and I'll be like I always say, right? I always been looking at the world from a bleaker view, because a lot of this stuff is deception. It's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all an agenda, really. Because a lot of people look up to celebrities. A lot of people look up to a lot of these people, especially in Hollywood. But what people got to realize is that we're about to be like, it's going to be a point that the dollar is going to be no more. That's what people don't understand. The dollar's about to be finito. We're going to go into another recession, which we are in a recession, but they keep telling you they're not. It's not a recession, but it is. Everything is up, everything is high, food is high, gas is high, a lot of things is high. You know, um, certain things that's going on in the world, they're just keeping people, in the dark. So what I always learn is, and it's one of my favorite movies, and I tell people watch it because in that movie it tells you how politics is, and why I love this movie, Wag the Dog by Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman, is because the movie was based on a scandal dealing with the president. And basically, Robert De Niro's character was a spin doctor. And what he did was how he spin uh, a scandal is you spend it by having war or many other distractions, which is the stuff that we see here with the agendas of the Me Too movement, BS, and all this. It's all distractions because it's all being spinned, and people don't understand that they're being spinned because they're not telling you the deeper shit. They don't want you to know the deeper shit because they know that they could spin you however they want to spin you. If they want to keep you geared to follow all the scandals, they'll do that because that's what happens when you're still in the matrix. Once you take that red pill, you start saying, "Wait a minute, y'all guys are spin doctors, man. You really spinning me with all this bullshit. Like it's not true. This is just all over the place." But why they do that is because they know that the media controls the mind. All this stuff controls the mind. A lot of these YouTubers are controlling your mind because if they weren't, they wouldn't have you following all this bullshit. And it's all wag the dog politics. That's all it is.
Fact.
Let's be honest. It's all to create a diversion. It's all to fix damaged issues. Just look at what's going on, in Palestine and Israel. That's wag the dog politics there. Let's distract you with a whole war that's going on right now.
I gotta watch that movie that you just meant, Wag the Dog, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's a good movie. I suggest anybody watch Wag the Dog by Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman. It's a great movie. It's a movie that shows you. It's a funny movie, but it's also the truth because it shows you politics. It shows you everything that goes on in the world. That's why I always tell people like a lot of shit be bullshit. I don't take it serious because it's like I know what this is. They'll have us. They'll put a war out there. They'll show us fighting a war, and then that's distracting from a real scandal that's going on. We got a scandal right now with Trump and Biden. People don't see what's going on. They trying to lock Trump up and they trying to lock Biden up. They trying to lock a former president and the current president up in prison.
Right.
Don't people really see what's really going on? Like it's like,
and that's the thing. Americans, I mean, a lot of Americans are waking up and understanding what's going on, but then you still have spoiled brat, entitled Americans that are just in a deep sleep, like not understanding reality. And it's people from other countries, from the world, looking at us. That's why me personally, like I travel in the States now. I don't really travel overseas anymore, because I don't want to go to other countries and they're like, oh, look at this American, and just disrespect me and take me as a joke. Because that happened to me in Mexico back in 2020, and it's like people in other countries, they know what time it is, regardless of like liberal media, whether it's CNN or NBC. People in other countries, they see what time it is. Even put it like this, for example, like on the 2020 elections, when Trump was saying that that they rigged the election stuff, Americans were being so spoiled and rotten, calling him a liar and calling him delusional. But I seen people from Nigeria, Australia, Canada, et cetera, and they were saying that the elections is rigged. because
Yeah.
people from other countries, they know what time it is. So when they see us collectively, not necessarily me and you, of course, but just collectively as Americans, like they was calling Trump delusional for saying that the election was rigged. And then remember when with Twitter, they banned Trump off of Twitter. It was
Yeah, yeah, I
leaders from other countries was upset that Twitter had banned like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as a collective. They all banned Trump. It was leaders from other countries that was upset about that. But it was spoiled brat American citizens that were happy about that. Then a few days after, what was that app called? The stock app, Robinhood.
Yeah, Robin
And,
Hood. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
then
It
those people,
crashed.
it crashed on the GameStop stocks, right? So
Yeah.
then people, because whatever, if you was investing in that, people was getting upset with that, but they didn't understand that all that shit was connected. Because in other words, if they could censor a sitting president, well, it's not about whether you like him or not. That's the president of America. If they could censor him, what the hell you think they're gonna do to you?
Yeah. I mean, that just shows you that in America, the president really doesn't have control. That just shows you that basically that America is like a Fortune 500 company. It's a business. It's a LLC. Because if a president, a sitting president, whether it's Trump or Biden, can be investigated and in office, and that they're willing to like not respect the Constitution, and they want to convict a president, a former president, that just shows you that in America we're almost like a third world country.
Exactly. And then you see the
It's
situation with Colorado talking about they don't want Trump to be allowed to run in Colorado, and California is hinting at that as well. Um,
hmm
Again, like the world is watching. Like in other countries, when you're the leader of any other country, like your people, if you're the leader, your people are not supposed to disrespect you. And this
no.
goes back to what we're saying about emasculating men and stuff like that. Like
hmm
even for me, to be quite honest with you, even though I dabble into politics, to be quite honest, lately, like with the debates, like with DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy,
hmm
and they got Nikki Haley, they got a woman in there. I'm not watching it. Like, why would a woman be the president of America? Even like, let's say hypothetically, if Joe Biden dies right now, right, and then
Yeah.
automatically that means it'll be Kamala Harris as the president, right?
hmm
I don't care. People could call me a sexist. I don't care what nobody says. A woman should not be running America. I can't speak for other countries because I live in America. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about where I'm
Yeah.
at, right? So what a woman shouldn't be running the country.
No, that's
So I don't
true.
even pay attention to the debates. Like I got Nikki Haley, not like I don't got no disrespect, not impersonal towards Nikki Haley or anything like that. But why you
Mm.
got a woman running as president?
Because like I said, it's an agenda. Because if you really look, right, I always tell people, right, a conservative feminist, a liberal feminist is all the same. The only thing different with a liberal and a conservative feminist is their political views. But the agenda is going to always be the same, because they always going to have an agreement on one thing, that they want to be in control of everything, the country and everything. They may disagree on the policies, certain policies, but they all have the same sentiments and the whole similar conversations. Just look at Nikki Haley. She's no different than the Kamala Harris. Like, she has the same type of agenda, same type of mindset, and same type of ambition.
I see that. Like I don't really, to be like I said, because I haven't really gotten into the debates and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
from the little bit that I've heard from Nikki Haley, and I guess yeah, she is a Republican candidate going into what you're saying. She
yeah,
seemed like she seemed, I don't know, she was talking about like she's pro-war and stuff like that, and she seemed like she's heavily pro-Israel, whatever. And I don't really, whatever. She just seems impulsive, like a typical woman. She seems like,
yeah.
because women, they get impulsive, they get catty. They shouldn't be the leader of America. I don't care what nobody says. People might call me a sexist for that, but I think the leader should be a man. And it's like, because
Yeah.
that's the thing. I can admit, like, you know, even the disrespecting the president of America and making it public, like to where the world sees. that didn't start with Trump. I actually think that started with Obama, right? So
Mm.
just to disrespect whoever the leader is of America, and while the world sees it, that automatically makes us as American citizens look like a joke. And then
Yeah,
after that, you got a woman running for president. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
No,
And
but
then
you absolutely right though, because like with Obama, right? Perfect example. When I remember when Obama was president, like the type of like the disrespect he was getting is just like even with Trump. And I think for the last couple years from when Obama was in office from 2008 to
mm-hmm,
2023, there has not been no respect for the sitting
for our
president in
leaders,
office, for our leaders.
it's not even about, because in other countries like these actual third world communist countries, you
Yeah.
can't disrespect your leader.
No, you can't.
And then it's like we got a mixture of like there's disrespect towards the leaders in America, and then let's say like with the Olympics or whatever sports, oh, I don't respect the American flag. Do that shit to China. Like you're in the
Yeah,
Olympics and you playing for China and you try to throw the Chinese flag on the floor. You about to get dropped literally 20 seconds after you walk out that arena, because
that's
you're
true.
not supposed to disrespect your country and you're not supposed to disrespect your leader. It's just like in a household, like don't disrespect the man of the house, right?
Hmm.
It's the
Hmm.
same, it's the same concept. And with America, we got the world watching us and stuff like that. And then now you got a woman running for president additionally. So it's just, and then right now they talk about in Colorado, um it's to try to make it to where Trump can't even run
Yeah, they
he can't
said
even
they
run
they
for
trying to
president.
like remove him. They say they trying to remove him out the ballot, but
Mm-hmm.
basically what basically what I heard was that if Colorado does successfully do that, then the higher courts are going to have to get involved. The highest
The
Supreme
Supreme.
Court is going to have
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have to get involved because basically they really can't kick him off the ballot because one, he is a candidate. Two, he has to run in Colorado. He has to run in all
50
the
states.
52 states.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
even if they want to remove him, it's not going to work. So it's an agenda, you know. And I tell people like I'm not pro anybody. I'm just one thing about me, I'm open minded. But what they're doing to Trump is political. If he didn't run for president, I tell people this: if Donald Trump did not say he was going to run for president in 2023, you would not see this case that's going on with Jack Smith, and the case in New York with Alvin Bragg, and the case in Georgia with Fannie Willis. You would have not seen no cases because basically they would have never went after him because he was not running for president. But because he said, well, I'm going to run for president in 2023, we're going to come with you with all these cases. They're going to be overturned. A lot of those cases is not going to even be,
It's not gonna
it,
stick.
it's not going to stick. But it was basically, they only did that because they want him they don't want him in office.
Exactly.
And it's like, that was basically the agenda. Like, if he didn't say, I'm running for president, and I'm not going to be the president of the United States. I'm not going to run for president. I'm just going to be a public citizen like Obama and many other presidents. Then you would have not heard anything about a Donald Trump indictment.
But here's my thing. I strongly, not that I believe, I know that they stole that election from him in
No, they
2020.
did. They did in
I
Georgia.
heavily spoke on that at the time.
Yeah,
Here's my thing. If you don't fix that, like the 2020 election,
yeah,
what makes the like 2024 valid? You get what I'm saying? Like what,
yeah,
like we haven't fixed the 2020 election within itself.
yeah,
And to be honest with you, when I see that okay, they don't want him to be on the ballot
yeah.
in Colorado, and then they're also talking about doing that in California. And California is a very much communist
Mhm.
state at this point. What
Yeah.
this all reminds me of, to be quite honest with you,
Uh-huh.
is if you look it up, like back in the 1960s in Venezuela, they were doing things in Venezuela in the 1960s with the
Yeah.
election where let's say you got like eight candidates, for example, or whoever is qualified and meet the criteria, right? But they would narrow it down to two,
To two, yeah, yeah, that's
where you
true.
could
That's
only
true.
pick two people, right? So
Yeah.
this is my little thing with here in America. Like I'm picturing in 2024, somebody comes forward. It could be maybe the Speaker of the House, whatever. I don't, somebody. They'll come forward and be like, "Oh, to all my American citizens, I know you've all been questioning
Mm.
the integrity of our elections, and we all know that Donald Trump is a dictator and he's practically just like Hitler. So we don't want you Americans to worry about him running for president." And we see that a number of you don't like RFK, a number of you don't like Vivek Ramaswamy, you don't like Nikki Haley, and we're gonna narrow it down and make it easy for all of our Americans, and we're gonna
Mhm.
give you two choices, being that we're here to help you. We just want you to pick between two candidates, Joe Biden or Governor Gavin Newsom. I don't know why, but
Hey,
I can
but
see
you
them
know,
trying to do something like that.
no, no, but you true about that. Like, this is how I know, like, about how the election got stolen. If people go watch the documentary that they did about Georgia, about how the election was stolen, they went and rigged the votes 12 midnight. They came with a briefcase and they stole the election. They stole the counts of the election. That's what basically was said in the documentary. And then, like, when you really look at it, Joe Biden right now and Trump is both going through what they're going through because basically we have a shadow government. That's what people got to understand. We have another government running this government. It's like a dictatorship. Like, if people look at a dictatorship, it's run by, you think it's run by a president, but it's really run by warlords,
The corporation, yeah,
the corporation. So the warlords are the corporation. So it's not like, okay, the president is the president of the United States. No, he's selected, and basically not only that he's selected, but he doesn't really run things because look, like I was said earlier, you have a sitting president and a former president fighting criminal cases right now
for the world to see at that.
for the world to see. And not only that they're fighting two criminal cases, but their kids are fighting a criminal case. Donald Trump's son and Joe Biden's son are both fighting criminal cases. So that right there to show the world that two presidents are fighting criminal cases for the world to see, that just shows you that this country is ran by a shadow government and there's corporations that are pulling the strings, and it's really like Trump said, you have to drain the swamp.
Literally.
It is what it is. Because if the president that you're electing is not in control, and that you have district attorneys and fucking uh federal prosecutors making their own rules, that just shows you that the country is not a country. That's what they do in
No,
that's what they do in third. People don't understand. In third world countries, that's the type of shit they do in a third world
that's
country.
what I'm saying. And that's why I mentioned Venezuela in particular, because this is a full
Yeah.
circle thing. Because with Venezuela, that's what they was doing with the 1960s elections under the
Yeah.
guise of democracy. Because they always throw that word democracy like it's a good thing. Democracy is not a good thing whatsoever. And the thing is, speaking
No.
of Venezuela, when I say this is a full circle situation, I always talk about the border with the illegal immigrants, right? And it's not just Latinos, it's Ukrainians, it's Chinese, it's Africans. If you could come through
Yeah.
that border, you coming through that border, no matter what your ethnicity may be,
And they're
right?
all coming through, and this is the thing. A lot of people don't know. A lot of the migrants are coming through Mexico. And the way they're coming through the border, you have, like you said, you have Africans, Haitians,
They're not really letting
Latinos,
the Haitians. They
Chinese.
don't want to let Haitians and Cubans. I'll get to that in a little while. They don't really want the Haitians and the Cubans to come through there, but it is like Africans, Ukrainians, and it is the Latinos, from Central and South America. But the majority, like I said, even though it's not only the Latinos, but the majority of them is from Venezuela. And that's why I'm connecting that to
True.
being a full circle moment, because Venezuela used to be like one of the richest countries ever. They used to be like number 4, like rich. They're very abundant in oil. Formerly had a great education system, just an overall rich country. But unfortunately, they accepted socialism, which obviously led into full blown communism and everything
Yep.
like that. And that's what I'm saying with the 1960s elections. They was just giving you could only pick 2 candidates and stuff like that, just full fledged communism. So obviously, yeah, like to this very day, this very second, they're fleeing communism so that they could come here to America. And yes, in my video that I posted on both YouTube and Instagram or what have you, when I'm talking about the illegal immigrants, and I was specifically talking about the Latino sector, I'm talking about how they coming into New York. And I know you know what time it is in New York. They're coming into New York. They're coming into
Yep.
Chicago. Like in New York, they're being placed in luxury hotels. They're getting iPhone 15s. Just I think what a couple of weeks ago in Chicago, they was all cooping up in the police station of Chicago, and they had to tell them, hey, you guys can't, loiter here, so to speak. We're gonna put you in a shelter. It was these Latinos. They was like, what? You're gonna put us in a shelter? That's how much of a joke America has become, to where you got illegal immigrants. First of all, we got Black Americans and white Americans, just any American that was born in America. They're waiting for shelter. They're trying to get jobs. They're just, trying to
Mhm.
survive, and they can't get shit. And you get to cut the line, and you get to get luxury hotels, luxury
Mhm.
apartments, and all this shit. But then when you're getting told to go to a shelter, which really you're asked to get the fuck out of here, really,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, don't put me in a shelter, because they got family here that's already legit, or whoever their Spanish friends is that they could communicate and chop it up with, and give them an inside scoop of what's going on. Oh, you could just, get to America, somehow you get to New York, somehow you get to Chicago, whatever. This is what they're gonna do. Because the Latinos stick together, and I'm not hating. There's no hate in my blood.
No,
I
they
do
do.
believe that nationalism is
Yeah.
necessary. I believe that it's good that they stick together. But this shit right here with the illegal immigration and Americans is like, it's like fuck us, regardless of whether we black or white, and they get to come in, cut the line scot free. I'm not feeling that. So I know when I did the videos that I was doing, because a lot of these Latinos, they get real shisty and real bullyish and real disrespectful and shit. So it's not that I'm
They do.
being racist towards Latinos. I just know what time it is. They don't respect. It's not like the older immigrants. Like, yeah, they built this country and stuff like that, and I'm gonna pay my respects and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
these new ones is just getting it scot free. They don't even have to do shit.
I think,
You,
but you know
it's just
something
it's just
pretty.
disrespectful, yo.
No, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. You're right. You're right. But you know something. This is the thing, right? Um, the thing with the agenda with the immigrants is, and this is some real shit. It's like they're trying to replace the people that are here. Remember, they're trying to replace the people that are here in America, and that's what it is.
It's like it's the
Because
globalist agenda.
it's a globalist agenda. If you look at the workforce, a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of jobs are being out resourced right now. Okay, people, and I told people this, right? People be telling people, go get a job, go get a job. In a minute, nobody's going to have any jobs because a lot of these businesses are becoming bankrupt. A lot of these pharmacies, supermarkets, clothing stores, even these corporate businesses are
Mm-hmm.
being out resourced. So now a lot of jobs are closing out and people are not able to work. And even if you get an Amazon job or this type of job, I'm telling people this right now. They're going to replace you with the drones. They're replacing you with the computers. Come on, if you go shopping at any supermarket or any store, you're not getting no check cad. You're not getting a check a cashier. You're going to a machine and you're checking your stuff out.
Exactly. 'Cause that AI about to take
It's
over.
so what people don't understand is when people was telling people about this, it's time to be entrepreneurs for yourself. It's time to start businesses because the future is here. America is not the America of
The
yesterday.
people. It's not. Yeah, it's not like the melting pot, like the America of the people, like not the
No,
democracy type of way, but like the America, like the constitutional
yeah,
republic that it's really supposed to be. It's not. It's not on that type of time. It's like you're getting replaced with AI, and if they do replace you with humans, they replace you with Latinos.
yeah,
So,
and
or
they do
Indians
cheaper
or
labor.
Chinese. Yeah.
And it's like you gotta look. These Mexicans come in and they're doing cheaper labor. They're working for cheaper labor. They're working for, you know, and they don't. If they're not a part of any unions, that's what people really don't understand. I had a conversation with my cousin. I said, these guys not a part of any fucking unions. They just working, and if they get hurt or anything, he'll
It's
still
straight
come
out.
back to the work,
Yeah.
and they will do that until
Until they
they make
dead.
enough money.
Until they dead. It's just like
Until
they
they
willing to
dead.
take
That's
that
true.
sacrifice. They just raw jumping in head first. And I give it to them. Listen, I'm not, it's no hate in my blood. I'm not hating on the Latinos, nor am I racist towards them. But for me, my problem as an American is
Yeah,
like, I don't get me wrong, don't get it confused. I was one of those people that did warn the black community, like, yo, don't vote for this because they're gonna take your place. Like, let's say you in a certain school district, you want your child to go to a particular school or whatever the case, they gonna be like, forget about your child in particular and put these immigrants' children first. Or
yeah,
let's say you want to get a job, they'll put them first to get that job. Or you see what happened in New York, a couple of, like, it was at a
yeah.
school, and they like put the immigrants in the gym, and the
Of
kids
course.
couldn't go to gym class, and then they was throwing the veterans, just leaving them out for dead and stuff like that. Like, this is
Yeah,
not cool. And to be quite honest with you, I do lean conservative and stuff like that. And I have to admit, like, there is videos where I'm mad with the black community, like, why did you vote for this? Why did you talk about me because I'm Ethiopian, and you get mad at me for speaking on black issues when I'm literally born and raised in America, and I was raised around
yeah.
like black Americans more than Ethiopians. That's just demographic wise where I was raised and
That
stuff
is
like
true.
that.
That is true. A lot of Ethiopians is raised around Black Americans, especially the ones that's born in America.
Like
That
on the
is
East
true.
Coast, like, yeah, and that's just my upbringing. Like, let's say hypothetically, if I was from the DMV, which is heavily, it's a lot of
That
Ethiopians,
yeah,
I
yeah.
probably would have been
DC.
different. Yeah, like
It's a lot. Rudy, it's a lot of Ethiopians in Atlanta too. Atlanta and DC,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
and they heavily raised into the black culture. You would think that they was black just because how heavy they are in the culture. So yeah,
But where
you're
I'm at,
absolutely right.
like, I'm in Connecticut. I'm close to, like, I'm like 30-40 minutes away from Bronx, 30-40 minutes away from Queens. I'm in Fairfield County of Connecticut. So
Oh
just
yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
so
You
happens
right
where
there.
I'm from, there wasn't that many Ethiopians. So as far as I
Yeah,
grew up with a lot of black Americans, and I grew up with Caribbeans, like Jamaicans and Haitians. That's just the demographic of what I grew up in. So
yeah,
from a cultural perspective. So yeah, I do fall out with the so-called FBAs, Foundational Black Americans on
yeah.
YouTube. Mind you, I don't come for them. They come for me first, whether it's because I have conservative ideology or just, I just think the way that I think, right?
But y'all
And
always
but
had,
I
but
will.
you know something pretty. The Ethiopian community always had a conservative ideology. That goes back to like
The
the
country
days of
itself.
like yeah, to the whole country. Like people, people talk about Haile Selassie, but he had a conservative ideology. People don't know. Like he was very conservative. So a lot of the people in Ethiopia is very intelligent. They understand religion. History. You go back to history. That's like the really an important part of the land in the history books because it was a big land mass. That got cut
Yeah.
up. So we get into that rabbit hole too. Pretty like
Yeah,
that's what
nah,
those.
seriously. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't want to front. I do fall out with. There's the FBA's, Foundational Black Americans. They do come for
Yeah,
me. I'm not gonna lie. I talk my shit. And I do say things along the lines that, damn, why did black, just nationwide in America, especially like
yeah,
Chicago, New York, why did they vote for illegal immigration? But here's the thing. But there was white Democrats voting for that shit too. It wasn't just the black.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was.
So
It was.
even
It
though I
was.
am a conservative, um, what I would say to conservatives or Republicans or right-leaning people, this is
Yeah.
just for me personally, like, okay, because they keep saying, oh, well, black people voted for this. Like, so what are you saying? Are you saying
But
that
you
it's
know what
okay
it
for...
is? Hey, pretty. But you know what it is? This is the thing I always tell people. Black people, and I always say this about black people when it comes to the liberal agenda, just voting liberal. I think a lot of them have gotten caught up in like, well, they're the only ones speaking for us. But if you really look at black people and just look at their ideology, and this is all across the board, whether they're in America, whether in a third world country, the mindset across the board is conservatism. They're not ultra liberal.
No.
Black people are not ultra liberal. I don't, we may get caught up because we've been voting liberal, but we don't agree with all the liberal things. We
Not
don't agree with
originally,
the
at least.
LGBTQ. We don't agree with abortion. We don't agree with a lot of those things. A lot of us are very spiritual people, and we're very about conservative issues that are going to work for us. And I think the problem is, like I said, we got caught up in the sensationalism of this party is working for us.
Yes.
This
100%.
party is basically the party for us because they're speaking our issues and they're speaking to us and they're coming to our community.
Absolutely. 100%.
But if we really look at it, black people have always been conservative with their talking points, with their viewpoints on the world and everything. We're the biggest conservative people out there. And the
Absolutely.
white liberals know that. They know we're conservative.
Absolutely.
But what it is that they have basically brainwashed our people and made us to believe that being liberal is okay. And we're waking up. I'm telling you, pretty, a lot of black people is starting to wake up because now they're looking at, wait a minute, the system is not working on our
They was
side.
bamboozled.
It was bamboozled. A lot of them, listen, my grandmother voted Democrat her whole life since the 60s, right? Since she was able to vote. And when she sees a lot of the things that the Democrat Party has done, and she's seeing the whole migrant crisis, and she's seeing, how the justice system is not working in the favor of the taxpaying citizens, that'll make you wonder, like, wait a minute, maybe Trump is not bad. Maybe the conservatives, maybe we should have been having these type of talking points because people are starting to wake up.
Yeah.
They starting to wake
like
up.
the original, especially like, let's say if you look from a woman's perspective, like back in the days, like Big Mom or what, like, the original black woman and black men too, but the original black woman, like God-fearing black woman, was conservative. It was the white woman that was always liberals, like the woman that they used like black women as nannies to teach them how to clean and so forth and stuff like that. The original black woman is conservative. That's why when you look at Sexy Red and all these, like, it's a smack in the face because they're gonna keep black women down and have other people of other ethnic groups look down on black women. But then again, I'm not gonna front. Like, I'm hearing things lately about black women too. This kind of goes into the topic of the rift between black man and black woman, in current times or whatever. People keep telling me that black women be doing like witchcraft, and I'm like, what? I just had this conversation last night.
that right now in 2020, I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? I would say like 2018, like 2017, I started to see like this big rise of black women doing a lot of witchcraft. And like I remember I was watching a story. I think it was on ABC or one of these networks that it was on, and they were talking about how a lot of black women were leaving the church. So it was in the age range that they were saying the black women that were leaving, it was from 25 to I think 45, 25 to 45. So now a lot of those women are in their 50s now, but they were saying from 25 years old to 45 years old, a lot of them are leaving the church. And then when you look, the majority of a lot of black women are doing witchcraft
Yo, and I keep hearing it
and
lately. Like
becoming
I
witches.
yeah, like and it was shocking to me. I guess maybe like, a part of me being conservative is because I'm kind of like an old fashioned, stuck in my ways. So
Yeah.
sometimes I still see things like, for instance, like when I talk about black conservatism, like I grew up watching Family Matters, the Cosby's, and Fresh Prince.
You like me, pretty.
I still have a positive image in certain, or like, how I'm talking about the God fearing black woman, like, Christian black woman, you know what I'm saying? And then when
Yeah.
I hear the witchcraft, and like what you're saying, like you saying you kind of been more familiar with it from 2017. So it goes
Yeah.
to show you it's not really, it's probably been going on longer than that, but that's probably you yourself when you
Yeah.
got
And no, but
familiarized.
you know something pretty like I didn't know, because basically, I didn't know. And because, like the whole internet world, when I started like getting real serious into the internet world, like I would watch, YouTube and watch the videos. But when I started like really, really getting like real serious, when I started my platform and I really started like watching a lot of videos and people was recommending them. And I was like, wow, like a lot of the stuff that was taboo is now
A thing of
the
the
thing.
norm.
It's the thing of the norm. Like if you watch a lot of these women like that do music, a lot of these girls, you see them, they got the beads on their waist, the
Yeah.
hair wrapped up. They're basically telling you that they are a witch.
And is that where the saying, black girl magic, that's pretty much that, right?
Yeah, that's that. That's that. That's them basically telling you that they are into witchcraft and all that because a lot of them have been, caught up in this whole like dealing in with crystals. And I was like, what the fuck is all of this? I was like watching a lot of these videos. I'm like, whoa, these women is like, they telling you they burning incense and sage and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, it's like, whoa. So basically, it's like a lot of these women are leaving the faith. They quit on church and they just went into witchcraft. But this is why I say that a lot of black women are basically becoming a lot of devil worshippers. You know, like when you start talking religion and spirituality to them, they don't want to hear that. And then the black men are basically joining with the black woman into that. And I had a conversation with my cousin. He was like, yeah, a lot of these women, they into witchcraft. Like,
Yo, it's just not to be like, it's just mind boggling to me. Like I said, I told
yeah,
you, I guess I'm stuck in my old
yeah.
fashioned,
But
thinking.
witchcraft was so taboo. Remember, pretty, it was a point in time that witchcraft was taboo to the community. You know, a lot of people in the community were very taboo on just even voodoo.
Right.
Like when it came to like the Haitians, like no,
Thank
and there's no
you.
knock
That's
on
what I
Haitians.
like. I'm about to say. Oh, you're from Haiti. Your family's from Haiti.
No, 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 no. My family, my father's from Jamaica and my mom's from America. But
Oh, got you.
yeah, but like when it came to like the Haitians, like the conversation with the Haitians,
And
like
Africans.
the
It was
Africans.
basic. Like when we was coming up, it was like the voodoo was all mostly about Haiti and Africa. But
Yeah,
now we're hearing it about Black Americans. Like I don't like. It's like I'm like, damn, where have I been? Like this is, I don't know. It's
no,
still
but the
kind of
rise,
mind blowing for
but
me.
no, but the like I was saying, pretty, the rise came in the 2010s. You know that a lot of people been practicing because before then, you know, people just didn't tempt with voodoo. They didn't tempt with none of this witchcraft. If you was into that, you know, it was like a cultural thing. Like the Africans, the Nigerians, the Haitians. It was a cultural thing because
Exactly.
the Cubans, the Hispanics,
Santeria with the
Santeria,
Brazilian
like
Latinos. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a cultural thing. It wasn't predominantly everybody, but if you look, like it's Black Americans that's doing it. My cousin, he didn't know nothing about that shit. He went to fucking Atlanta and met a stripper, and she introduced him to fucking this whole witchcraft shit. He like it spooked him out. The shit he was seeing, and it's like it's kind of crazy because if a person's not raised on that and they haven't like that's just scary to them, they don't touch those type of things. They believe in God and God only. Some people believe in Islam, but the further to go into like witchcraft, no, that's just not something that was.
That's not normal. That's like I can't. It's hard for me. And then allegedly, I hear like Erykah Badu was on that type of time, which that might have been. I'm saying if so, she must have been, because I'm thinking like, oh, she a 5%er. You know what I'm saying? And there was a part in my life where I almost became a 5%er, but I just didn't take that.
You was taking the lessons, pretty.
Almost at one point in my life, yeah, I almost became a 5%er, but I didn't because it was too strong of not having the idea of understanding there really is a higher power. And don't get me wrong, like when you look at like Christianity and the Bible, there are similarities, just like it's similarities with Christianity and Islam. There's also similarities with the 5%er nation having similarities with the Bible too, like, or saying like God is in me, which you have Christians that'll say that as well. But with the 5%ers, I feel like it was too extreme to the sense of not even giving credit to some form of a higher power. That was just too strong for me. And then there's also the division and the culture that came with that too. But I always say that, me personally, even though I'm not a 5%er, I'm still a part of the 5%. I'm still a part of that percentage of people that have the knowledge. I'll give the knowledge to you. You take what you will. You have information. You do. I'm not the 85. I'm not the 10%. I'm the 5%.
As long as you got now that's a fact. As long as you got your 5% and you understand that you're here to teach the babies, you're here to feed them with the knowledge, being that you the Mother Earth, and what people gotta understand, the 10% bloodsuckers is gonna always be here to poison the babies, gonna be always here to poison the people, because their mission is to be a part of the 1% bodyguards. They the 1% bodyguards. And then you got the 85ers that's just the dumb, deaf, and blind. So the 10% is going to feed off of the energy of the 85ers, because they know the 85ers don't know anything. So the 1% is going to always stay in power with the protection of the 10% bloodsuckers. So that's a fact. A lot of people, got to understand that. Like, you don't have to be a part of 5% nation, but you also got to have the knowledge of self to understand about the 10% bloodsuckers and understand that you are a god, and for the woman you are Earth. So
that's still, that part for me still applies 100%. But yeah, I guess I was going off of Erykah Badu. I hear that she's into the witchcraft allegedly.
Yeah, she's a big witch. She's a big witch. I didn't know that. I knew because I always heard stories about how she changed a lot of men's lives, like Jay Electronica, Andre 3000, Common. Like, she had Common like in a weird state of mind. Like, he was started like dressing different. Andre 3000 was like dressing crazy, and you had Jay Electronica switching different. Like, he didn't know if he was a Israelite 5%er, or part of the Nation of Islam. He was just changing and changing.
He went out with Erykah Badu. He started dating a Rothschild.
He just started dating white after that.
Yeah,
it's like.
But you know what? When I think in hindsight about that, because at first, like, that threw me off, at that time. But this goes also into the element of Black men, like. Put it like this. Even though in my videos I do talk about, like, again, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I talk about that there's a Black femicide where Black women are being murdered by Black men. But I'm also capable to go on the flip side and understand that Black men are dealing with the hardships too from Black women. Because if we're particularly talking about witchcraft, or it could even just be a ghetto ratchet Black woman, let's just say, not all Black women, but just, you know what I'm saying? You think Black men don't see this? You don't think that shit scares Black men to make them run away to maybe a Latina or a white or Asian or so forth? And it's legitimate. So who knows? Maybe I didn't understand it at that time. maybe that's why Jay Electronica went to a Rothschild. Like maybe Erykah Badu scared the hell out of him, and if so, it's understandable to some extent. I don't know the full spectrum. I don't know the full story, but it's definitely understandable for Black men to be like, damn, this woman is a witch, whoever the Black woman may be. And either you're a witch or you doing the stuff with the crystals and the sage and the beads and all that. And you're being ghetto, you're being loud, you're being ratchet. That'll scare any man away. You know what I'm saying? And then I also hear allegedly, you're familiar with Tabitha Brown?
Yeah. I saw her. You know what's crazy, right? I first got wind of her by watching The Shy, right? Because she was on there. And then I heard her story on YouTube. And you know what's crazy, right, Pretty? I was at Barnes and Nobles, right? And she had a big book signing. I actually met her, but I didn't get to speak to her. But I met her at the Barnes and Nobles because she was signing her book. And I was like, wow, this woman got a lot of people support her, because the whole Barnes and Nobles was like, it was a whole line of women just coming to see her to get a book signed. Me and my cousin we was going to pick up a few books, and we was like, what was going on? They were saying, is you here for the Tabitha Brown book signing? And I told my cousin, that's the chick that he already knew who she was, but I was like, that's the girl from The Shy. That husband was an ex-cop, and basically she told him that he could retire now. She made a lot of money, and her story was deep. I kind of respect her because her husband let her go do her career, and he provided, and she basically paid him back, telling him now that I'm successful, I could provide for you. And I was like, that's a deep story. And I just didn't understand why women was trashing her.
That's one hand washes the other, both hand washes the face.
Yeah. And and me personally, I just, as a man, like, to see a woman will do something beautiful like that for a man and tell him, like, listen, you did me great, you protected me, you provide for me, and you was willing to let me go out there and sacrifice my time to be successful, and you didn't give up on my dreams, and I didn't give up on your dreams. And then to hear woman trash her because she told her husband that he could retire now and she's going to take care of him, like, the relationship. This is what people don't understand about relationships, and I tell people this all the time. Relationships is built off of a balance. It's built off of friendship. It's built off of loyalty. It's built off of understanding.
Sacrifice.
Shout out to you, Blizz. I see you. I'm gonna hit you behind the scenes, big bro. Salute. But it's built off of understanding and respect. And I think a lot of people don't understand that if I'm in a relationship with a woman, you're my best friend. You're my counselor. You're sometimes my life coach, and you're also my lover. But you're somebody that I can go to as a confidant and as a team, because we're a team. Like, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you're a team. That's your teammate. That's my woman. That's my partner. We're both partners, and whatever decision I make, she makes together, because we're coming together as a team. And I think a lot of people don't understand that a relationship is not about feeding your ego and feeding your narcissism.
The Joneses, it's not about that.
It's not about that. Like, a lot of people gotta understand, he may have it, he may not have it at the time, and she may not have it at the time. Sometimes we have to, struggle, but eventually we're going to get to the place where we're not struggling anymore.
And that's how you come together, because if not, what's the use? What is it good for if not that?
That's what I'm saying. And that's what makes a relationship even more stronger, the struggle. Because you're going to know if she's going to be there through thick and thin, or she's going to leave. That's when you know true character.
Exactly.
But a lot of people, a lot of these women, don't understand that because they're not there for the long haul. They're not there for when I'm down and out. They're there when the money is gone. I'm gone. I'm going to the next man. And that's not somebody that should be in a relationship. That's somebody that's just an ego. Like you're egotistical about yourself.
You couldn't have said it any better. I totally agree. Because like I said, I do believe in it's one hand wash the other, both hands wash the face. And it's like people try to make it seem like me as a woman or any other woman in general, like, you know, we're like, I'm talking about us as not being gold diggers. When we think that way, we get accused of settling for less.
That's true.
Like you
That's true.
just want a man for his money. Like me, like for me, like, yeah, I'm single, whatever the case may be. But for me, what I like about a man is what makes him wholesome. What is his capabilities? What is he doing? How is he a leader? And not because for me, but for himself, because he's so wholesome within himself that as a man, he can provide a lead for others. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, oh, he has to make 6 figures. Like, I was never like that anyways. So, no, I get, like, what you're saying is right. Like, when Tabitha Brown did that with her husband, like, because he was a police officer. And I'm pretty sure behind this is just me assuming. I'm assuming behind the scenes that, you know, because he was a police officer. And I guess it was around the time of 2019, 2020 that she retired him. And, you know, all that stuff in the news was going on, like, either police officers were getting killed or black men were getting killed, you know, just vice versa. So I'm pretty sure, and he also is a coach, so that's the dream that he wanted to pursue. So
That's what she said.
Along the lines of, she's like, you know what, I don't want you to be in danger anymore. I don't, you know, and I think she wanted him to pursue his dream. And, you know, he already did that for her, like you said. So, but I do hear people calling her a witch, though, because I always hear her pray. I always hear her. I started following her because I used to be a vegan at one point. So I liked her.
You was a vegan?
Yeah, I used to be a vegan for 2 years. It was short.
And you want to know what's crazy, right? I was a vegan from when I was a kid until I was a teenager. The only meat, and I'm gonna be honest, I started eating meat like later on. I started eating like chicken, but I wasn't eating all of the meat. And then later on I started, and like, I'm not gonna lie, the vegan lifestyle is great, but I'm gonna be honest with a lot of people, and this is the true facts. It's very dangerous too, because if you look at a lot of vegans right now, the soy, got a lot of people that you see a lot of vegans, they eat a lot of soy and a lot of stuff like that.
Meat replacements.
Meat replacements. And a lot of them are getting sick with cancer. A lot of them are having, you know, underlying health issues, you know, just to keep up with that life. So I don't knock anybody that's a vegan, because I was a vegan. I love juicing. I love eating vegetables and fruits and all that. You know, that's great. Nuts and all that. But, you know, it got to the point where it's like, well, this is fucking with my health a little bit, you know? Like my uncle, he was a vegan for a long time. He stopped eating meat. And then in moderation, he started eating fish, you know, and now he's back eating meat because basically the vegan lifestyle was getting to his health. It can be, it's a gift and a curse, you know. So a lot of times, and I tell people, if you're gonna eat meat in moderation. You don't have to eat meat like you can eat it in moderation. If you're going to eat meat, don't fry meat. Just eat grilled meat. I like grilled food. I tell people all the time, I like eating a lot of grilled food. I like eating a lot of rice. I like a lot of starch. I like corn, chickpeas, beans. I like a lot of things like that because you got to eat like that. And I always tell people, you have to have a full lunch, a full breakfast, and a full dinner.
You got whole foods, like you said, chickpeas, meat, right? Like basically foods that are one ingredient, like a whole food, instead of it not, not processed. That's what I'm saying. Like when I was a vegan, and like I said, it was short. It was only 2 years.
2 years?
gained weight.
You
Yeah.
couldn't hold out, pretty. You could hold.
No,
You
you know
could
what
hold.
it was? No. I was very disciplined. But what made me going back to the health spectrum, like I gained weight as a vegan, and I kind of believe the blood type diet thing because there's a doctor that talks about like your blood types because veganism works for certain people, and certain people it just doesn't work for certain people. And me being that I'm a blood type O, it says like, yeah, I'm supposed to be eating beef and like turkey and like the lean proteins and stuff like that. And when I observed my body and examined in hindsight, I used
Yeah,
to be smaller when I used to eat beef, but I'm not really a fan
yeah,
of meat like that.
yeah.
So um but yeah, like hypothetically if I
No,
start
you right, pretty. Because I remember I didn't eat beef for like a couple years, and I wasn't a beef eater. I was just a fish and chicken eater. And I went to the doctor one time, and my doctor said, you're not eating enough iron. And he's like, you got to eat enough iron. And that's what made me start eating beef, because before I just would never eat beef. I just would never like it, And I tell people a lot of times, like, being a vegan is for certain people. Like you said, it's for a certain realm of people. Some people can
exactly.
do it, some people can't. It's not for everybody. Being a vegan is not for everybody. And a lot of people that are vegans, I tell people this all the time, they are not healthy. If you see them losing a lot of weight,
I
and
gained weight.
yeah, you got ones that gain weight and ones that lose too much weight. When you see ones that lose too much weight and they look kind of smaller, that's because, I'm being honest with you. And this is another thing that a lot of people don't understand. If you're not growing your vegetables and you're eating processed vegetables, that is going to mess up with your health. If you're buying your vegetables from your supermarket and you're saying you're a vegan, please do not buy vegetables from the supermarket in your neighborhood, because those vegetables that are in those vegetables and fruits are old. They are spray on. A lot of people don't understand that.
Size and stuff.
Strawberry, a lot of the strawberries are spray on with food coloring to make it look like it's fresh, and it's not, because the next week it's moldy.
Exactly.
And that's why I tell people all the time, like I got a big, garden in the back, and I'm growing potatoes,
What's
greens,
up?
yeah, tomatoes. I got a green thumb, so I like, sometimes I may go to like a Whole Foods, or I may go to supermarket and get vegetables and fruits, but most of the time I'm eating my vegetables in my house from my garden, And I tell people, learn how to garden, learn how to grow your own vegetables and fruits,
Yes.
because, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, pretty. My professor that I had when I was in college, she's the one that exposed that to me, like all about what was going on with the farms, how the corporations was owning all the farms, and basically how they were spraying pesticide and all type of stuff into the vegetables. And it's like, wow, like you thinking that you're eating this, but you're not. You're eating something totally different. It has steroids. It has a whole lot of things in it. And it is. And I tell people, you have to be very cautious of what you consume in your body. Because it'll put you in bad health. It would. You know. Hey, pretty.
Yeah.
But what you were
I'm looking at
saying
the
though,
fact, huh?
what you were saying though, I was kind of agree with you. You said something about what was you talking about? You was talking about um fuck, what was it we was just talking about before we got into the vegan? Oh, Tabitha Brown. Yeah, Tabitha
Mm-hmm.
Brown. Like what you said, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of women were hating on her, because if you really look at her, all her husband wanted her was to follow her dreams. And all she wanted to do for her husband is the same thing as follow his dreams. That's what couples are supposed to do, is encourage their significant other to follow their dreams. They're not supposed to tell
Exactly.
you, oh, you go and work and do this and do that and be the man of the house. Like, this man might be
No.
unhappy doing this. He's just doing this because he has to provide for his household. But he doesn't want to get up every morning and do that. He wants to go and follow his dreams. People don't understand this. There's 99% of the majority of people that work on jobs. Those are not the dreams or goals of the people that work on those jobs.
No,
They had
that's just
other
like
dreams
in
and goals.
transmission. Like they just like doing that in the meanwhile to get to whatever goal or
Yeah.
plan is. Yeah.
And that wasn't really their, like, that wasn't a go-to plan. And a lot of people think that, oh, you got a job and that's good, but that's not the go-to plan. A lot of people, that's not their plan. That's not their plan A. You know, that really was the plan B, because plan A just didn't work. But they always wanted to go back to plan A, you know. And I think a lot of people just get caught up in that illusion that people is happy. And when you have a partner that's not supportive, then what are you with a person that's not supportive of your life? And I just don't
Exactly.
understand it.
No, I give that to Tap, like the way, like it. You know what? It was Wendy Williams that, as soon as everybody was talking about how Tabitha, like, retired her husband, it was Wendy Williams that was like, she said something along the lines of, she was like, oh yeah, she retired her husband, and somewhere down the line, next thing you're gonna know is, he'll be depending on her for her money, and she'll have more money than him, and it's just not going to work out. And then that's when Tabitha said something, but it was very humble and very, like, I don't know, but like her clapback basically. But I
Mhm.
do see women commenting under Tabitha Brown's, like, some of her statuses, and
Yep.
they say like she's with the witchcraft. And then I saw like a woman did a video about Tabitha saying, oh, she's not praying to Jesus, she's just praying to God. But when she's saying God, what God is she praying to? And then not only that, I seen Tabitha Brown at the Beyonce, on the Renaissance concert
Oh
and
yeah, the
stuff.
Renaissance concert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
there. I mean, I don't know what your opinion is of that, or
Hey, let me ask you about it. Let me ask you, how you feel about Beyonce, Pretty?
man. Okay, in a nutshell, like she's a performer. I'll never take that from her.
Yeah.
When I hear people talking about, that's what we're talking about, witchcraft, right? People saying that Beyonce is on the witchcraft, allegedly, right?
Yeah,
It's a few black woman, I'm sorry, I'm just like taken back by it, because it's just crazy to me. Like,
Sasha, what would she say? Sasha
Fierce,
Fierce?
like her alter.
Yeah, that's her alter ego. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Like, this is the thing, right? Like, a lot of people, and I don't knock Beyonce. She's a talented singer.
She's a performer. You can't take
She's
it
a
from
great, she's a great performer. But I think with Beyonce, while a lot of people and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people be caught up in the sensationalism of Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like, I had an argument with somebody the other day about Jay-Z, and it's like, well, Jay-Z, was the God. I'm like, hold on, bro. Jay-Z, and I tell anybody this about the Jay-Z conversations, right? And we could debate this all the time about this in hip-hop. Jay-Z was a guy that came in hip-hop, but he wasn't the number one go-to guy or the face of hip-hop. He was just a guy that was a rapper like everybody
at
else.
the time, and Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah. So he was a guy that, like, I remember when DMX was out, like, DMX was the face of hip-hop. Like, I just remember that, I remember when Nelly was out, he was the face of hip-hop, and the Eminems and all this, the 50 Cents and all these guys were the faces of hip-hop. Jay-Z was just a guy that was like, okay, he was a supporting character in hip-hop. Like, you got supporting roles. Everybody got a supporting role. Jay-Z just had a supporting role every time in a movie, and I think what happened was he married Beyonce not because he loved Beyonce. He married Beyonce because it was a business move to take his career to the next level. People don't understand. You know what it is to be on Oprah Winfrey and you're married to Beyonce? Like that right there is a bonus. Like you
Yeah.
married to the biggest artist at the time. And don't get me wrong, like Beyonce at one point wasn't the biggest either. You know, she graduated to the biggest by, being consistent and dropping big records. But there was a point in time where there were other female artists that was, you know, neck and neck with Beyonce. She just was able to surpass them and have bigger records and sold more and just had a great machine around her. But but the difference between her and Jay-Z is she's international, Jay-Z's not, you know. There's no taking nothing away from Jay-Z, but it's like, you know,
Yeah, like
and
when
they
it
could
comes to
so
the craft, like he a businessman, he a hip hop artist, like he wears many hats. Her, she's a performer and she's a perfectionist. Like, gotta give that to her.
thank you, Pretty. She's a like you just said, she's a performer, she's a perfectionist, and he's a businessman. And that's what people look at Jay-Z as, a businessman.
And it
Like
blends well together. If any man or
it does.
woman was to have that kind of, doesn't have to be exactly like that, but when you have that dynamic as a man and woman, it really comes good together. And another thing that I have to, and this is not no celebrity idol or worship, but one thing that I noticed about Beyonce and Jay-Z, you notice how with Jay-Z, he's exclusive, meaning he don't go to the BET Awards or the Soul Train
Yeah,
Awards. He might go to the Grammy or the Oscars, if
yeah,
even that at times too, right? He's just very exclusive, meaning like he don't put himself out there.
yeah.
He's
He
not
don't.
easily accessible. Or I
Yeah,
always hear the Black community people get mad at Jay-Z, like, oh, why he don't be coming back to Brownsville or Marcy or whatever? Because he don't have to. What you want him to end up dead? And
yeah. But Jay,
even Beyonce's on that same accord too, where she's
yeah.
exclusive. She don't just put herself out there and make
Oh,
herself.
he's a. You know something? Jay-Z's a private person. So
Yes,
when you're a guy like Jay-Z, you're private and reserved because he's reserved and he's private. That you're not going to see him involved in any of that because he's with Beyonce. And they only come, like you said, they only go to the Grammys and the Oscars and
right.
maybe the Super Bowl because he is the head
Because
of
you got
the
money to
Super
make
Bowl.
like a performance or investment or something along those
Yeah,
lines. Very exclusive, as which is, don't even like to regular people, like don't make yourself accessible. Don't put yourself, like, let's say you live in one territory, there's always events or something going on. You don't
that's
gotta pop
true.
up at every party or every scene. Like, make yourself
No,
like less accessible. But the funny thing about it is, so with Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're on that same accord. They're not
yeah,
easily, like, you can't get close to them, right? But it'd be
yeah,
her mom, Beyonce's mom, like let's say, like, what people like gossip, or people are coming for the beehive, quote unquote, people are coming for Beyonce. She don't answer nobody or whatever, right? Because again, she's exclusive. But it's her
yeah.
mother that'll jump on the shade room, or I mean, on the like, she'll jump on Instagram or something, and she'll start saying something. And that's another thing. I heard her mother is heavy into the witchcraft. But then again, they're
Yeah.
Louisiana Creole, right?
Yeah, they is. They are. They are. They are. They Louisiana Creole. So they heavy with that. They heavy with that. But I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of these women, and be technical, if you watch their music videos, you can see the voodoo and the witchcraft in the music videos. Like you could see it. Like when you watch uh Jay-Z on to the next one, heavy witchcraft in that video. If you really look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Beyonce, I think I forgot what video was it, but it had symbolism of witchcraft in the video. So,
Yes, I remember. Not to cut you, I think we're talking about the same one. It was a
uh,
dispute. I think, what was that video? I can't even think about it. But
I think it
it
was
was a
on. I think it
dispute
was on the
amongst black
Lemonade.
women over that video, like where you had Christian black women versus, I guess, the witchcraft woman. Like,
Yeah,
and they were saying things like, "Oh, it wasn't witchcraft; it was symbolism from Africa." I think we're talking about the same thing right now.
yeah.
It was
It
like
was. I
this
think it was the
cute
Lemonade. I think it was the
lemon.
Lemonade album,
Yes,
or
yes, the
or
Lemonade
the Line.
album.
It was one of those. Yeah, Lemonade. Yeah, because that video has symbolism, and if you watch a lot of them, a lot of those female artists, they have a lot of the symbolism in the video. A lot of them have the witchcraft symbolism in it. You know, some of the rappers do, but the majority is the female artists that have a lot of that in it. You know, they promote it heavy. You know, the witchcraft and symbolism, and like I said, a lot of them practicing it. You
It's
know, a
just
lot of them
it's
practicing it.
it's crazy to me. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not trying to. It's just because I'm hearing these conversations more frequently now. Just out of the, like, I had a conversation about this last night. Literally, I'm seeing it, like, just men talking about it because they should, especially like in the Black community. I do think Black men should talk about this because it's a concern, and that's gonna, that energy you put out, that's that energy that you know, get
Yeah,
back, and it's gonna trickle down to your family, your children, and so forth.
but
And
that
it's
goes
just
to show
crazy to
you.
me. It's just
No,
crazy to me.
but pretty, that goes to show you that the black community is not spiritual anymore. That goes to show you that they're not
Not
pro
faithful under God.
the faithful and good, and they don't promote religion. Because if you have a whole lot of women and dealing with witchcraft, and these are women that probably found out about this by watching YouTube videos and seeing certain women speak on it, and they join up in these communities and practice it. You know, I was on Clubhouse. It was like, yo, it was so much women I saw in the Clubhouse room. It was like a bunch of them was like they was pro witches, pro into witchcraft, and like they was using sex magic and all type of stuff. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy, but this is the era that we're living in America. It's a godless. We have to understand America's a godless society. Pretty.
Yes, it has
It's
become.
no. It's no.
Yes,
It's no such thing as religion anymore in America. You know, a lot of these countries are godless society if you really look at it, because really it's NWO. It's New World Order. So
it's
people.
crazy for me. It's just I don't know. It's That's what I'm saying. Like me, like when I was talking about almost becoming a 5%er, like that was too extreme for me, to the extent of I believe there's a higher power, and as I've gotten older, I'm getting more spiritual and more closer to God, you know, myself in my own journey. So I guess
Mm,
for me, when I'm hearing this about Black women, you know, in comparison to the original Black woman, like how we talk about conservatism and stuff like that, it's just very, I don't know if I'm being naive, but it's just very shocking, to say the least. It's just
no,
very.
it is. It is. It is, and that's why, like what you said, pretty. The modern day women, this is their mindset. You know, um, the women that aren't modern, that still stick to traditional, and still they're not into all that modern shit. Their mindset is just traditional. It's a different type of understanding about relationship and about spirituality. Um, because of the times that we're living in, and for the last couple years, especially in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, the dark times that we were in, even in 2023, is that people became more spiritual. But people have to remember, during the pandemic, how many people basically fell out with their husbands, fell out with their wives, fell out
Friend.
with their girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
They broke. It was more divorces, and the divorce rate was so high in 2020, 2021, 2022, and even now in 2023, that it's not even funny. If the world stopped in 2020 and people couldn't stand the test of time with their significant other in the household because they was locked. It was a lockout and nobody could move, nobody could do anything. Everybody was locked in their house, and you basically you telling me that you're willing to divorce this person because you couldn't stay in the house? Then the relationship was never meant to be. It was just based off of fake bond, a fake relationship. Everything was fake.
Exactly. It wasn't solid. It wasn't
It
on real
wasn't solid.
foundation.
Yeah, because if the foundation was solid, nobody would have divorced during a crisis. Nobody would have been divorcing during a crisis.
Not in your right
Everybody was
mind.
not in their right mind. Nobody. They would have been, you know, weighing it out, staying with their partner. But because you got people that was just married to a person just because of what they can do for them, they showed their true colors that basically they weren't in love with the person. They weren't.
And it was a red pill, blue pill moment. And people got
Mhm.
divorces and friendships broke up. Family member, you can't come to the Thanksgiving table and so forth. People
Yep.
fell out over the 2020 election too. Within
Yep.
everything that you're talking, like it was just yeah, it was a red pill, blue pill. Like,
See, but that's why I say 2020 exposed a lot of people.
it really did.
2020 exposed a lot of people. And look, we're in 2023. Everything is showing for what it is. So people have to keep their third eye open because now, just look, it took one tragedy that happened to the world to stop everything and made people flip on everybody.
Exactly.
It's like it makes you wonder, like, is this really real? Like, this is why I tell people all of this is smoke and mirrors and deception. It's not real, because if it was real, people would not be moving and doing their partners the way they do their partners.
Nah.
It's just what it is that people are just so fake and they're not real with their partners and their significant others that is always gonna be me, you. And that's what it is. A lot of me, you. It's nothing solid, it's nothing real.
Nope.
And that's why, like, you can't love anybody in this era because everybody has an interior motive. If they're willing to leave you and fail you and not hold it out with you during a crisis, if we have another crisis, how many other more people are going to leave their partners that just now married their partners recently? That right there just shows that everything is not peaches and cream and everything is not real.
It's not.
And I tell people all the time, like, all you have to do is just study everybody and look at the world and see what it is. There's just nothing real about a lot of this shit. It's nothing real about it.
It's
And
nothing of substance anymore.
it's nothing with substance. It's nothing with balance. It's nothing with nothing, because it's just not real to be real anymore. People just don't want to be real anymore.
No. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even with 2020, it literally was a red pill, blue pill moment where,
It
speaking of
was.
keeping it real, people would see things in plain sight and don't want to face the reality,
Yep.
and it's just, I don't know, like me, I consider myself to be a sweetheart, give the shirt off my back type of person, but I just lately have just been worried more so about myself, just me and mines, and just because I see how people turn into zombies, people are just very cold hearted and everybody's out for themselves and stuff like that. And it's just not cool to me. And I see it in plain sight. And it's just, I don't know.
No,
And
but
even
that.
with Diddy, I'm, to be honest with you, and I know I'm all over the place, but with Diddy, I kind of never thought I would see this day coming where he gets, what's the right word to say? I guess gets thrown under the bus or held
Mm,
accountable.
mm. You know something about the Diddy thing, right? And I tell people about this, right? That a lot of these things are happening because basically it's an agenda that's happening behind it.
It's more behind the scenes.
Yeah, because I told people like all you got to do is look at a lot of these cases. Like people don't want justice or and don't have justice on their mind. A lot of people are paid to do certain and say certain things, and it's an agenda. See, I always tell people when you start taking that red pill, pretty, and you start having your third eye open, and you start realizing the world for what it is, and you start realizing this is all an illusion. You start seeing the world different, and you start seeing that. Wait a minute, hold on. That's something's not right there, you know. And every time I see a scandal, I tell people all the time, I just can't agree with it because it's like, hold on, there's something behind this. It's always something behind something. It's never. It's like I told you about the wag the dog. It's always the wag the dog politics. You know, look at this whole Israel versus Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's been going on for how many years? Centuries, right? And like there's no Evan, there's no type of peace, there's no type of nothing. Why? Because there's an agenda. And then eventually they're gonna come to a ceasefire and then it's gonna squash and then you're not gonna hear any more about that. It always happens during a time when we're dealing with an election or we're dealing with with a real serious topic.
Something
And
more
it's,
than what meets the eye, and they just
yeah,
distract you with all these different things in different directions, everything. Because even like with Diddy, where is he, hiding out in London or shit? He might
yeah.
be Russell Simmons for all I know.
And on Bali, right?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like it's just, and they even talking about what the Epstein list next month. They're supposed to be releasing
But
179 things.
look at that, right?
They're not gonna
Hey,
release shit.
hey, pretty. Look at this with the Epstein list, right? Epstein had immunity, right? They had protected him. He had immunity and all this, right? Then he ends up dead in prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tell people about the Epstein thing, right? They're never going to expose any of these things because it's deeper than what people think it is. If people really look at that, they'll be like, wait a minute, they're not going to expose that because then what's going to happen is everybody that's a part of it is going. They're not going to expose them because it's too many secrets. It's
Mm-hmm.
too much money. It's too much. You know, what people got to understand is I started really realizing that the world is not a perfect place and people are not perfect. I tell people, right? Like I always had this conversation about child child predators. I always say like this you have a government that tell you they're against child predators and they're against this and they prosecute that, right? But they're so hypocritical and they're inconsistent with the laws because how do you have laws that say consent is 16 in certain states? Consent
Exactly.
is 17. Consent is like you're basically is suggesting that this is okay by having the consent laws at the age that you're saying that these people are being predators preying on these women and these young boys. Am I right, pretty?
Yeah.
Like anybody with good common sense is gonna be like, wait a minute, that's kind of like that's when you look at it, they're really not against child predators. They're really not
No,
against
they with
this
it.
because they in certain states, if you go in certain states, the age of consent is 16 in certain states. Certain states is 17. So is they really against that, or they're just telling you that because it sounds good on paper? And that's what people gotta understand. It sounds good on paper, but it's not the truth.
Wow.
It's not the truth.
Yeah, no, trust me. And that's another thing too. Like I'm kind of all over the place, but with the manosphere, like you got just pearly things like 16-year-olds are sexier than 26-year-olds, and I mean the manosphere they be promoting that pedophilia stuff too. Because at first I was down with the manosphere in terms of like combating feminism, and I still have that ideology, but they go too left on just attacking women in general and promoting like, oh, 25-year-old, 35-year-old women are old and left over. Get you a younger woman. And these
Yeah,
supposed to be people that are aligned with conservatives and on the Republican and on the right and so forth. So
yeah,
and the conservatives, they don't even condone them and call them out. Like the manosphere got way too left for me. Like they're promoting like woman abuse and pedophilia to a degree as well. In my
yeah.
opinion, especially just pearly things. But I don't know. It's all wicked. It's all that's why I like real people. I don't like to idolize or worship anybody like that. I don't like to get too extreme, whether it's a
Yeah.
YouTuber or content creator, I mean, and so forth. And it's just I don't know. A lot of people are sick, man.
No, but you see, what people gotta understand is this is the mindset of the whole world. Like I told people when I first came on, I said, listen, it's the social engineering of people is all deceptions. It's all smoke and mirrors. You know, people think that the justice system and the law is shaped to have the same thoughts of the vigilantehood, but they're not. It's what fits to their agenda. I always tell if somebody fits as going against their agenda, then they're going against them. But if you're with their agenda, they're not going to go against you. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
when people talk about predators, I always tell people, well, if you care so much about predators, you should be changing the laws of consent in your state. You can't say that you're against predators, but the state that you're living in says the consent law is 16 to 17 years old. See
Exactly.
people attack the wrong things. They never attack the real actual problems. See, everybody wants to go with, oh, you're a predator. But why are you not attacking the law? See, the people that's doing these things are not in their mind, they're not doing anything wrong because they're saying in their mind and even in the law, it's saying what they're doing is not wrong. That's what they're saying in their mind, pretty because it's like, wait a minute. The law is telling me, and this is why they're fighting in California for that to be legal for them.
Exactly.
So it's like, this is why I always tell people, you people talk all this about you're against this and that, but you're not going out there fighting about the legislation that
And the
says
local
that this is
level.
consent.
Mm-hmm.
You're not voting against these things. You're not saying that these things are wrong. So you're not really against that type of behavior.
Yeah, because people don't understand like the power is on a local level, like in your local city, in your local state, and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's where it really matters the most on
Yep.
a
And
local
that's why I
level.
always say that people are full of shit. I always believe that a lot of these people are full of shit. Because if they weren't full of shit and they were being truthfully honest, they would call everything out across the board.
Yeah.
Because there's no way, like I said, there's no way that people can sit here and say that they're against pedophiles, and they're against pedophilia. And
Yeah.
your state, and that's why I always have this conversation. I always bring it up. And people can't combat or can disagree with what I'm saying. Well, what you're trying to say, you're trying to agree with that? No, I'm not agreeing with it. What I'm saying is that if you really reconsider and look in your mind and say to yourself, hold on, wait a minute, he has a point. The law says it's consent. So really and truly, they're not really doing anything wrong. Because if the parent says, you can have sex with my daughter, and she's 16, 17, then really, let's be honest, pretty, they're consenting this.
Yeah, literally.
If the parent says, listen, you can marry my daughter, she's 16, 17, I'm giving you consent. He's not going to jail.
That's just sick.
But that's like you said, it's sick, but it's like Like we were saying again, it's the hypocrisy. It's not people not standing for anything and they just falling for anything. And that's why in America, this is why I say it again. America's a third world country. People got to be realistic and got to wake up and start realizing that America is a hypocrite.
Yes.
It's more hypocrisy in America than it is people really sitting there and saying to themselves, hold on, it's too much hypocrisy. It's too much hypocrisy. Because there's no way in hell that nobody can sit here and say that it's not a hypocrisy, that it's not bullshit, and that it's not a bunch of lies, that people are just sitting here just believing that everything is this and it's that, and the laws are going to, people going to go by the laws and the criminal. Like, why do people think that if these guys take plea deals, these same predators that they're talking about, if they take a plea deal and the plea deal is they do a year in prison, then basically it's no justice, because the consensual law is the consensual law.
Yeah, and like you said, in Cali, Governor Gavin Newsom, he trying to do things like, with like children, like let's say you like 12 years old or whatever, you want to, or 11 or 10, 8, whatever, you want to do a sex change, and they're going to try to make it doable without your parents' knowledge and consent. Like they go into that extremity, and it's like,
and you didn't hear the law in California where they're trying to reverse convicting people that are predators.
Yes.
That's what people don't understand, is that, like, this is what I tell people, Pretty, is that people be so caught up in the whole vigilante hood that they're really not looking for justice.
No.
Because they don't care. People say, oh, I care about what's going on with the kids. If you cared about what's going on with the kids, you should be lobbying for these laws of consent should be overturned. You don't care because you don't care. And that's what people got to start being. Tell the truth. You don't care what goes on with the kids.
And that goes into the Epstein, the flight log. Like they don't want to release that list because it got not just like celebrities or politicians or lawyers and judges or whoever. It got people that you think is normal, like going into what you're saying, like that they try to make it seem like they don't support pedophilia, and they like people that you think are normal and have some type of moral compass. But I don't think they're gonna release it next month as they claim.
They're not gonna release it. You know why? Because
it's gonna be
what people gotta understand, it's deeper than what people think it is. And it's like they're not going to expose that, because why would they?
Exactly.
Because the mindset and the behavior of the people in this country is the same. They cannot listen. What people gotta understand, they could say all they against this and against that, but the mindset is still there. They're not against any of that. They just not. Just because they'll lock somebody up, it's because they went against the agenda.
Exactly.
They against the agenda. That's all it is. They get an agenda.
Trust me, I know, because like my videos be getting like censored, blocked, removed, and stuff like that. And it's just like, even like when I was on Facebook, I get thrown in a Facebook jail. It like this stuff is real. They don't want you speaking knowledge or speaking the truth on things.
Yeah.
And what do you think about like with Diddy? Like, it just, I don't know. It seemed like every time I look up, it's like something. I think right now they want to sue Cass. Like his lawyer is upset now as we speak. Something about, because Cassie, even though she has that NDA, I guess she's going outside of it and still trying to expose him in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what do you think? Like, just with the overall Diddy situation?
I think the Diddy situation is this, right? I'm gonna tell you right now what it is with the Diddy situation. She was paid to go after Diddy. You know, anybody, if people just do 2 and 2, like a liquor company is paying for your lawyer, and then not only that they're paying for your lawyer, but you was with this guy for like all these years. You never said any of this before. You got married, you got kids with a man that you should be happy. You got kids. Am I right, Pretty? Like you got with somebody, you found somebody, you got married, you have kids, you're not with this man anymore. So You shouldn't even be worried about what this man is doing or anything. You should be moving on. He's moved on, you moved on. But I think what people got to understand is a lot of these women love that glamorous lifestyle, you know? And once you leave that glamorous lifestyle, you don't know what to do. And Cassie is just a woman that just don't know what to do. So because she was a part of this lifestyle and she loved the flash and she loved the money, that she just can't in her mind can't comprehend the fact that I I'm not going to be able to be in that A-list starlet life.
That status no
So
more.
yeah, that status no more. I have to be a regular person. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get money out of him and come with all of this, but then I'm gonna disappear when I get what I want, you know? And
Nah,
that's what I don't like.
yeah, and then her trainer, I guess that was her fitness trainer, and then that's who
A
she.
fitness trainer. Yeah, like, and you
That's
you should be happy with the guy you marry. You married a fitness trainer. You should be happy. You married him. You got a family. Like, what is the problem?
to me, that's kind of crazy. Like he was there, he's seen all her downs and lows, and it's like, as a man, if you was in a situation like that, would you want to marry that woman? Like you see that she's
Yeah,
been.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you want to marry somebody like that? You know? And she's not. And if she was happy with the man that she was with, she wouldn't even be trying to get money from her ex. Am I
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like, come on, pretty. Like, we're all adults that have strong minds and know that if you got to go back to your ex to get money, and it was all for the money, it wasn't about being a victim, because a victim wouldn't care about money.
Yes,
But when
exactly.
but when you're so your transfix was money, that just shows that you had the intentions of not caring about anything. Your intentions wasn't about no victimhood. Your intentions was, I need the money
Yep.
because the man that I'm with cannot provide me with that lifestyle. He can't
And
provide her with the
how
lifestyle.
much money did she get? Was it 100,000? I mean, 100 million or?
It was I think it was 20 to 30 million. 20 to
Okay.
30 million. But that's what I'm saying. Like, she needed the money because the man that she's with couldn't provide her the provision that she was looking for. And as
Crazy.
a man, he should have felt offended by that,
Hmm.
because wait a minute, I'm with you, we have a family, we have kids together, and then you're going back to a man that you said did this to you. I would be kind of embarrassed,
Yeah.
and I'd be kind of hurt by that. Like, you really didn't love me. You just wanted me to be the replacement guy.
Yep. The rebound.
That's what it was. Like, it was a rebound. And sometimes a lot of guys don't understand that these women will use you just to be their rebound. He
I'm
was
really
her
wondering,
rebound.
like, is he a simp and a cuck himself? Because
He's a simp and a cup.
yeah,
Because look at it like this, right, pretty? Any man that has a woman that the next man had that was their former employer, and you with this woman, like, you should told her out the gate, no, we're not doing that. We don't need his money. We can do it without his money. But that's because, like you said, when you're a simp and a cuck, that's what you do. Am I right?
yeah,
Like, that's not, and I always tell people, like, to me, I respect victims that this really happened to. Like, women that are being assaulted when they leaving to go to work and coming home from work, and they're being assaulted. You know, I've seen videos where, like, wow, this guy beating this woman and then he raped her. Like, that's crazy.
yep.
Like, you have women out here that's not those type of victims. They're just women that just saying, I want to get a bag. I want money.
Exactly.
And it's like, damn, you women just want money. Y'all don't want to see anything change because it's not about change with you. It's about money with you. And that's the crazy part about it. Pretty like people don't have strong characters to decipher all the foolishness that's going on. People start deciphering that a lot of this is just people are being willing participants in bad behavior. They'll start realizing that everything is bad behavior. A lot of this is bad behavior. A lot of simps and cucks and guys, they're practicing bad behavior also
Exactly.
because they're supporting somebody that is basically don't respect them as a man.
That's what I'm saying. And with Cassie's husband, like, yeah, okay, he knew that Cassie was with Diddy. That's one part, but I'm sure he's seen a lot of shit too, like with the other men and the freak offs, or
Mhm.
not to say that he was necessarily there 100% within the freak offs or whatever, but you knew she was getting like pimped out, if that's the right word to use.
Yeah.
Wifed her up. Like, what I'm wondering, what's the motive with the husband himself? Like, is there something else that more than what meets the eye with him? Because it's just crazy.
Everything is more like you just said, more than meets the eye. Why? Because he knows, and he probably was like you said. He probably was basically telling her to go get the money. A true
Yep.
husband is not going to tell his wife to go get money from a man that they don't like and respect.
Nope.
He probably told his wife to do that. But if you
Yeah,
know you
it
can't,
probably did.
and if you know that you're not, as a man, did not stand on your principle, a woman is going to respect you when you put your foot down.
Yep.
That's like if a woman had a husband and he had all the money in the world and she just left him for the man of her dreams, the man that truly means a lot to her. And that man tells her, I'm putting my foot down. She's going to respect that. But
That's
if you don't
exactly.
put your foot down, that woman is liable to leave you for another man. People don't understand that. Like,
Nah.
they don't understand that. Like, a lot of women are liable to leave a man because they don't respect him if he doesn't put his foot down and stand for anything.
Fact.
It was like you gotta be, you gotta. Sometimes people gotta make it make sense. I make it make sense, but do everybody else make it make sense? No,
Nah,
they
not on a large scale. No.
they don't, because it's like you get lost in the sauce and in the matrix of, do these people really love their significant others? No, they don't. A lot of them hate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They hate themselves because a lot of these people just want money. And it's like you can't support a lot of these things, these stories, because when you start really doing the investigation, it's money, 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 money. It's all of it. Like you told my Tory Lane situation earlier. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Like, she says she's the victim, but the eyewitness, before he came to the court and said that Tory Lanez did it, he said it was two females fighting over a gun.
And they don't
It's
care
like
about that.
they don't care about that because their whole, let's keep it real, initiative is to promote feminist culture. America is not a It's not a patriarchal society. It's not. It's a
Nah.
matri. It's a matriarch. It's a matriarchal society, and that's why the matriarchal society is going to always win in America, because everything is going to deal with the matriarchal.
I don't want no woman president, but it goes right into what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm about to I'm gonna ask you like 3 questions and I'm about to charge my phone and knock out. But I
Oh, you
guess
about to go to sleep? You sound like you tired.
yeah. But
I
I guess
like having this conversation with you. We've been here like
likewise, it's way
almost
past
3 hours,
6.
right?
Yeah. But what I'm gonna ask you before I go, I guess I'm gonna ask you like 2 or 3 questions or what have you. What is your overall thought on Jonathan Majors, and what's your overall thought on P Diddy? Um, and yeah, I think you answered the question already. Like, who's going out bad this year in 2023? Black women or black men?
Well, I'm gonna ask that question. I think both black men and black women. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because black women and black men are going out bad because basically, um, there's no type of unity. There's no type of self-respect for each other. There's no type of civil discourse. There's no type of even people being civilized amongst each other. It's all about money, me, and egos. And I think that's why the black community, if I have to say it, the black community is taking a whole huge L. Because if people look at the black community, it's so disrupt, it's so fucked up that people are not even, I'm gonna be honest with you, pretty. Like people are not even willing to look at what's going to happen in this country. Like, say if Trump doesn't become president, we have a whole fucking like civil war that is brewing that may happen in this country. And
Yes.
people are not even fucking unified. Like a whole civil war. Like it could happen any day now.
Literally.
Like people thought January 6th was something. Imagine what a civil war in America would be like. You're seeing it all over the world right now. Civil wars.
Yeah.
They're not. It's no more wars with America versus this one or this country versus this. No, it's civil wars with countries next door to each other that is fighting. You got the Congo fighting. You got Niger and Nigeria and all those other countries fighting each other because it's all civil wars. In America, that's what it's going to end up having is a civil war. So when people are so focusing on, beefing and all this, you should be focusing on building and trying to come together. But instead, they have to build their platforms off of misery. Misery loves company. And there's so many miserable people in the community that they are going to continue to keep us lost, stagnant, and angry and disgruntled and really unstable. Just being honest. As
Yeah.
far as like Jonathan Majors, it's just sad because he had a promising career. He had a great 2023 coming off of doing Ant-Man and Creed 3, which I like Creed 3. It's a good movie. And to have it ruined by a female that basically was just vindictive, mean-spirited, and evil. Like if people ever actually watch the surveillance video, you would see that this woman was the aggressor. This woman was the perpetrator. She was the perp.
Yeah.
But roles were reversed and they turned the perp and the aggressor on the black man that had a promising career. And basically his career was ended by people that basically have an agenda. Marvel was kind of wrong to let him go because how you gonna let a man go and y'all know he was the victim.
Exactly.
But the agenda is the agenda. Just like with the Diddy thing. Diddy, to be honest, people just want money. I could see if it was like people had like a strong like thing, but when I really got to talk to certain people and I really got to ask questions and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, the liquor company is paying because he said that he was being racially profiled by the liquor company. If he never said the liquor company was racially profiled, would a Cassie ever come out? Well, any of these other women would have came out if he never said that the liquor company racially profiled him.
And what is up with the liquor? Is that that wasn't Ciroc, that was the tequila one that he has, right? The other.
Yeah, the DeLeon. Yeah, the
What
tequila.
happened with that? I thought.
So basically, he said that he wasn't getting like a percentage of what he was supposed to be made for the company, and he was saying that it was, racial profiling, and basically they used him for the image, but they didn't want to pay him, what he was worth for that liquor company. So because he had the lawsuit and he was going back and forth with them, they went and brought a Cassie out. And from bringing a Cassie out, you bring all these other people out.
Wow.
And they got paid. You could tell people got paid because it's just, how do you come out after Cassie, right? Settled. Another woman comes out. Then another woman comes out. Then another woman comes out. Then brands start dropping you. Cadillac, Macy's.
Yeah, what's that podcast? What
Hulu.
Wow.
It was so many, like the Grammys is talking about not inviting you.
Yeah, like the celebrities was like they don't want to sit next to him.
Like, it's like, come on, like.
And I heard the New York governor Hochul, she got beef with him too, or something. I don't know. It's
but look,
reaction.
But it's political. It's like with Bill Cosby, right? His case, if people really look at his case, right? The man said, "I'm gonna make a comeback," and then boom, all these scandals came out about Bill Cosby, right? But if Bill Cosby never said he was gonna make a comeback, will we hear any of these scandals? And then when he got released from jail, they knew that they had a fucked up case because the district attorney said out his mouth that he said if he won the election, he was prosecuting Bill Cosby. So that's politically motivated.
No.
It's like people don't like. That's why I say, like, when people start really taking that red pill and they really start waking up and they really stop and they escape the matrix, they'll realize that a lot of this shit is deception. Like, people jump on it because, I may not like this person, so I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. But everybody is paid to do what they're doing. Just like even with the Will Smith thing. A guy's your friend for 40 years and then you eventually come out and say, well, I seen him have sex with this man.
Exactly.
But he was your friend for 40 years. If I'm friends with somebody for 40 years, why would I go on the media to do that? Unless I'm being paid to do these things.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are being paid to do these things because they love money. And when you sell your soul for the dollar, that you're no different than what the people you allegedly say sold they soul. Like, everybody say this one sold they soul, but you're no different because you sold your soul for the money and fame. It's just, it's kind of sick and it's kind of sad, but it just shows you that people have hidden agendas. It's like even with the Trump thing. If Trump never said I'm running for president, Fannie Willis would have never had a case. Alvin Bragg would not have a case. Jack Smith would not have a case. All he had to say was, I'm not running for president.
Yep.
And boom. Off we go. But, it is what it is. But, Pretty, I enjoyed you.
Thank you for your time. Like, it was great chatting with you.
I love the dialogue. I like watching your channel. I'm not gonna lie, like that video that you did on Talib Kweli still cracks me up though.
Yeah, he blocked me.
Why does he block everybody? Like, I hear he blocks like everybody that speaks against him. Like, he just blocked. That's how you know he's like sensitive. Like, and I'm gonna be honest. Like, I tell people all the time. Like, I only like the 2 songs with Talib Kweli. I just hated Talib Kweli. Like, he's just so corny. Like, he's just like corny. Like, he just like, you got, when somebody is corny, but they just the corniest guy because they're so corny to the point. Like you'll just say some corny shit.
Yep.
That's just who they are. Like, And that's why I can understand why Mos Def never did another Black Star album with him, like, because you're just fucking corny, and like people know that, and like, how you gonna shit on Connecticut and say like, like that was
Yeah.
like, and he doesn't know, like, and he knows that that's not true about Connecticut.
I
So
think he
why?
went to high school in like New Britain, Connecticut. So it's just like, you know what? He's just full of like he's the type to lead people astray if they follow him. But that's up to you. You know, whoever you are, if you want to follow him, that's on you.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's really how it is. And like, he's one of those guys that he's mad at Kanye right now. Like, how you mad at Kanye, bro? Like, and Kanye, I'm gonna be honest, Kanye speaks the fucking truth.
Yep.
Pretty people say what they want about Kanye, but I love Kanye. I love Kanye.
Me
Like,
too.
I think Kanye is what's needed. I think Kanye is telling people, like, when people say, "Yo, Kanye's wearing a Ku Klux Klan mask." Well, I tell people, no, he wasn't. Actually, what Kanye was wearing was the mask that the Moors wore in Europe during ceremonies. But people really don't know their history, and they don't know how to do due diligence to look up things. You could find a picture of the Moors wearing hoods on their head, during ceremonies. But I tell people, the one thing they could do is they hide information from people through a book and through knowledge. So people would think what Kanye is saying is just asinine, crazy statements, and he's just a crazy madman that basically doesn't like to be not accepted by people. But people just don't accept him because he's kind of like Tupac. He just doesn't give a fuck,
Yep.
I kind of respect him on that, but I do appreciate you, Pretty, for pulling up.
Thank you.
We got
Thank
to
you
do this.
so much.
We got to do this again, me and you.
More
We got
frequent,
to
definitely. I'm
more
down.
frequent.
I'm
I like
around.
it. I know.
Likewise.
I like it, and we had some great conversations, and y'all gotta go see her channel. Y'all gotta go watch her channel. I love her channel. She's so funny, but she tells the truth because a lot of women out here should have the mindset of her because she has a mindset that most women need in 2023, but they're so caught up in my pussy pink, my booty hole brown type of behavior. And this is why a lot of women are losing, and they're losing good men. Am I right, Pretty?
100%.
You want to shout anything out before we go?
Well, thank you, whoever's been watching. Thank you. And please subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, Pretty Litty. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Pretty Litty, as well. Um, yeah, and to you, thank you for having me on your platform. I really appreciate you.
I
And
appreciate
I
you.
hope you all have a nice weekend. You all stay safe, stay dangerous.
Hmm. I call it. She said the Mrs. Archie Bunker.
Yeah, that's my one of my aliases. Miss Archie Bunker on Instagram.
That's a funny name, Miss Archie Bunker. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Hold
because
on.
I talk junk about everybody. I talk junk about black people, white people, Ethiopians. I just, I tell the truth about everybody. It's you know, it's
Gotta be
a
truthful.
humor, sarcastic kind of a thing.
Hmm. You
I
gotta be
hold everybody
truthful.
accountable. That's what that pretty much is.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
got
like
to.
conservative looking, kind of like Archie Bunker. Like, he would talk junk about Polish, black, just all types of people. And he was a conservative, seeing things change in front of his eyes. And he couldn't, the more things change, the more they stay the same kind of a thing. And
Hmm.
that's, that's pretty much what my alias or nickname was about.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I can't lie, that's dope though. That's dope. But
I'm still pretty litty nonetheless. But yeah.
I know. But I appreciate you though, pretty.
I
I
appreciate
appreciate
you too. Thank you for having me.
I thank you too for coming. We gonna do it again. Every
You
third, we
have a
gonna
wonderful
probably do this every. I thank you. Thank you for having happy holidays too.
that's what I was about to say. Have a happy
Happy
holidays,
holidays.
wonderful night. You have a great weekend. Stay blessed.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, love. I
Out.
appreciate it. Okay. Um, salute everybody. I thank y'all for pulling up for a nice conversation. I tell y'all, peace be with y'all. I think I might drop another video on y'all. You know what? I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. I might drop another video. I might drop another video. I might drop like another one. I'm not sure, but I might. I don't know if it's gonna be a short or pre-recorded, but I'm gonna drop something. But y'all have a blessed night, man. Have a blessed night, a blessed evening. God bless y'all, man.